case matter with concern security. For like me to pay attention to some political issues. What do you think about this new game of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu? The news saying they look at using either Bishop Kuka, Oga Christopher Musa, or Dogara, the former speaker, as in vice president. Dogara on don't in the news before now. And then remember, say, the governor of Taraba State, Agbokepas, we also there in the news, say PB, possible or likely PB. And this one will come as US a pressure against Muslim tickets. You know, so they don't talk about them well. But before we enter the US matter, I would like what you think about this new game. If you think it could bring about change, or you know, it could bring about new dynamics inside the 2027 election. Bishop Kuka as a vice president. Oh, you be like Senator, don't freeze. No, not today at all. Today not be the day where the network will freeze like this now. No. I don't. Dr. Katch, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Go ahead, please. Go ahead and respond to me. Oh, jeez. If you can hear me, please go ahead and respond. So, I mean, the trial of either Christopher Musa, Dogara, or Bishop Kuka, what do you think about the possibility of either of them becoming President Tinubu's vice president?
Hey there. Hey there.
Okay, all right. Can you hear us, sir? Okay. I don't know whether you can hear us, sir. If you hear us, please kindly respond so we're sure that you can hear us. Okay, so let me quickly read up that story why Dr. Katch is trying to put his stuff together. Now, we hear that pressure is mounting on President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to ensure a religious balance on the presidential ticket as he goes for re-election in 2027. This is as reported by Daily Sun. Now, competent sources have stated that forces from the United States have indicated a preference for a Muslim-Christian ticket in Nigeria's quest to retain his position as president of Nigeria.
Can you hear me right now?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
And now I think I'm having some denial of this arrangements coming very strong.
Apologies. What can we manage now, sir?
These attacks are crazy. They just when I'm about to talk, the denial of service maneuvers will just manifest.
Sorry, sir. But if you can hear us now, you can go ahead. I think it's a bit clear now.
What the heck? This is working well.
Okay. So if you can hear us now, please kindly go ahead. Well, as I was going through that report, we did hear that this is because, the U.S. is pressing and have indicated a preference for a Muslim-Christian ticket in Tinubu's quest to retain his position as president in Nigeria beyond 2027. So, following this, it was gathered that suggestions have been made of possible candidates for the position of vice president in Tinubu's 2027 election bid. So, Catholic Bishop of Sokoto, Matthew Hassan Kuka, is said to top the list of those being tipped as a possible vice presidential candidates to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu of All Progressives Conference. So, we do not know if there will be a possibility of that and how quick that will work out. Dr. Katch, can you hear us, sir? Is it better now, sir?
Yeah, I should hear you now.
All right, so go ahead.
I am suffering from a massive denial of service attack, but I'm okay now. Go on.
All right, so please go ahead, sir, if you can hear us. So, I mean, Bishop Kuka and Bishop Kuka of all people as one of the as the first choice, by the way, for vice presidential, vice president Tinubu. What does that mean?
Well, that tells you the American intervention is suddenly forcing a rethink. There should be a balance in this country. At the end of the Nigerian Civil War in 1970, Nigeria had 35% Muslim population. The majority of the North population is in the middle. That you see, we had 3 cascades of, and those coups and Abacha were used to rewrite Nigerian laws, forcing decrees down Arnold and throat. And before you know it, we had different protocols to the extent we are now beginning to have a Muslim ticket, and nobody thinks about the balance. There's no need to equilibrate, representation. The Christians have the oil, the Christians have the population, but because the Muslims did the coup to shut the Christians out, it's been that way. So if Tinubu will, because of the American intervention and the world looking into Nigeria now, and because the British actually agreed that they made a mistake, the British today agrees they made a pure mess in Nigeria. They left, but the colonialism didn't stop. because the Fulani continued to colonize the Hausa states, and it was a consequence of what the British did. The British hired the Fulani to colonize Hausa, report back the British in what we called indirect rule. So when we had independence and the British left, that continued in the Hausa Boko area. And so there's no way you can actually grow a country. You now had them seeking to build settler colonial entities. And
you think that this balance of ticket is still about taking over the country? We're just talking about 2027 election.
2027, what you're saying now is an attempt to bring back an equilibration in the political system.
Yes,
it's always been that equilibration. Yes, that equilibration brought the balance. Because you now have the Christian-Muslim balance, but suddenly, after the Buhari coup, and Ekweme got released from detention, he went to talk to Tinubu Shagari. You are the president, I'm the vice. But they locked me up and not you. He said, yes. They said that what we're trying to do to bring you to power after me was wrong. That them won the war and they shouldn't share Nigeria with you people. And from that, Nigeria changed. Even when we now did elections to have a Southerner win to rule, they refused. The last election, 2023, you saw how they cancelled everything and wrote things in their hands. And when we complained, they said that was a glitch.
Do you think Bishop Kuka still has that followership, that crowd, that Tinubu made?
No, Bishop Kuka is a product of the establishment. You need to understand that. Yes, Bishop Kuka is an establishment person. So there's nothing wrong with the establishment using him. You could see when he turned at the time when the Americans came here to talk about the slow motion war, which we call jihad, that it was causing a lot of death in Christian Benue, Plateau, and Kaduna. Kuka went there to try to defend the state. So Kuka has been an establishment person. And when they got back, he said, look, I'm sorry. I sincerely am sorry for the things I say to have been so hurtful to a lot of members of the body of Christ. He is an establishment fellow, but he is also a Christian. So if finally the Muslims think it makes sense to find a balance, it makes sense to find a balance. If they are trying to consider Christopher Musa, that's a good thing. Today in the north, Christopher Musa is about the most popular Christian in northern Nigeria because he understands what's going on. He is a victim in regards to this genocidal killings. His people in southern Kaduna actually bore the original brunt of this ethnic cleansing campaign. So he was put there to go and correct what he complained was the anomaly of killing his people. He's from Zango Katab. But he also pointed out the problems we had. That there was, a code of do not engage. Yes. And with that do not engage, that there is no way soldiers, will do anything until they get the go-ahead from the political leaders to engage. But look at since that has been reversed. Suddenly the army is taking over Sambisa. Suddenly the Fulani militias are on the run. Understand this? Something went wrong. And if you look at the EFCC charges against Governor Bala Mohammed and his commissioners, you would understand that. A lot of political actors, Bala Mohammed, by the way, is not Fulani. His tribe is Jarawa. He's the first indigenous governor of Bauchi State.
So why is he being finger for sponsoring terrorism?
He was trying to impress President Buhari by actually funding a Fulani terrorist group called Mayeti Allah Kautohori, led by Bello Abdullahi.
We're Phoenix Energy, a family-owned oil company focused on unleashing American oil from North Dakota and Montana.
From Niger Republic, from Bauchi State, but came into Nasarawa State to create the militia which he used to attack the Benue Valley. And that was... Were they interested in Benue, folks? Benue has water in the Benue, and then Benue has a species of elephant grass that the cattle love, and so Benue must be taken, and that was all.
So we'll come to this part, but I just want
the money is being given. Yes.
I wanted us to deal with the politics. That's why I mentioned the Bishop Kuka thing. And then there's another story. Now people are thinking, there are claims that the ADC is presently agitated. They are agitated, especially as by tomorrow. In fact, there's a lawsuit by former legal legislators to push for the deregistration of ADC. And people are saying that most of these people may be sponsored by the APC because they're jittery over, possible outcome of the 2027 election, especially, the coalition where you have their lives, coming together to want to unseat them. If that ADC coalition deregistration pulls through, what do you think that means for politics? So do you think it's even possible that it may pull through? And do you think they may be funded by other political parties to push the registration of the ADC?
I don't know a lot about those maneuvers, but I don't also know the locus they have to think they can push for the registration.
So let me quickly explain it to you. The explanation is that these political parties, the ADC, the AC, and some other political parties have performed so badly in past elections, including most recent ones. So because they have performed badly, they are just there occupying space. And it is not good to keep them. So they should deregister them so that INEC will concentrate on the ones that are performing and the ones that are ready to compete. That's what the argument is. All right, I think the network has gone bad again. I just thought to put that very clearly. Okay, so whilst we wait for Dr. Catch to have his network back, yes. So the Federal High Court has fixed, in Abuja, has fixed tomorrow, February 16, 2026, for the commencement of hearing in a constitutional suit seeking for the deregistration of 5 political parties, including the fast-rising African Democratic Congress, ADC, and Action Alliance, AA, for alleged failure to comply with constitutional performance requirements. That's what they said. They say they no meet the constitution requirements. So because of that, make them deregister them. So the suit was filed by the National Forum of Former Legislators against the ADC, Accord Party, Zenith Labour Party, Action Alliance, and Action People Party, APP. Now, the plaintiffs are asking the court to invoke Section 225, subsection A of the 1999 Constitution as amended, which empowers the Independent National Electoral Commission to withdraw recognition from parties that fail to meet prescribed benchmark on membership, participation in elections, and democratic activity. And a lot of people are wondering, why now, of all times? Dr. Catch, if you can hear me, please let me quickly take a reaction.
Yes, I can hear you. What I would tell you is, I know INEC had been doing.
Okay. All right, so this network issue, it's just something else is becoming and becoming. And I think perhaps I'll just resort to telephone call and let this rest, because it's just crazy dealing with this all through. So, I mean, while we're facing this issue, there are lots of other conversations we'll also have. Very quickly, let me look at that story about how deserted a particular community has become, and it's very worrisome. So, but before we go to that, that's about Dr. Catch. Can you hear me now? Dr. Catch? This is really very bad. Now, this is really unfortunate. Okay, all right then. But so moving on, Senator Yusuf Datib Ahmed, the Labour Party's vice presidential candidate in the 2023 general election, that is Yusuf Datib Ahmed, has issued a stark warning to opposition forces eyeing the 2027 presidential election, now declaring that removing Bola Tinubu from power will demand intense, unyielding confrontation rather than reliance on the judiciary. So, when I would get to do more than that, on do. Now, a widely circulated video clip shared on Twitter, I mean, it has been going viral from a podcast. A lot of people have also posted this, and people are talking about it. Now, the phrase he used says, "show your red eyes." In Nigeria, of course, in Nigerian colloquium, implying fierce determination, anger, or readiness to battle, has quickly become the rallying cry in online decisions. Now, the statement delivered with characteristic bluntness reflects growing frustration among opposition supporters over perceived institutional capture and the judiciary's handling of election disputes. Now, many in the replies to the viral post explicitly directed the message to Peter Obi, the Labour Party's presidential flag bearer in 2023, urging him to adopt a more aggressive posture. Now, if you recall, a lot of people were very upset with Peter Obi during the last election that he was a bit too docile. You know, even shake body, you know, act. You wouldn't have allowed some things that you allowed to happen. So we hope that this time around, you will not allow these things to happen. That's what a lot of people are saying. Now, comment range from His Excellency Peter Obi, please show your red eyes to assertions that the justice system is so corrupt that you can't get justice there anymore. Now, Baba Ahmed's remarks come amid ongoing debates with Nigeria's opposition within Nigerian opposition circles about strategy ahead of 2027. Now, over the past years, he has repeatedly described Tinubu as a formidable master politician who has demonstrated exceptional strategic patience and control from differing ambitions in early circle as allegedly engineering outcomes in his favor. So let's take a listen to him saying that. Please take a listen while we try to reconnect.
I told you that way. Supreme Court cannot give you governor and give you presidency, for God's sake. Stand up and do something. Nigerian constitution was clearly breached. Section 1342B. It couldn't be any clearer. Now, if it was June 12 people that you breach not just the constitution, breach just one small punctuation in their interest, I swear to God, nobody will sleep. They must take it. So, as much as I dislike the fact that they are using the Nigerian constitution, you must give it to them. They fight for their interests. They can organize June 12 rallies. They can keep it up for 3 decades. And if you say, so no, let's go to court.
But they didn't do that alone. They were able to mobilize other Nigerians. So I talk about ensuring that the opposition...
Whoever is going to defeat Tinubu must be ready to, I'll use the word red eye. You must show your red eyes if you're going to defeat Tinubu. Because on that day that they're declaring the result, the people declaring a fake result are criminals. And those who are stopping the declaration of fake results are good citizens. So what they normally do is to tell the law enforcement, hey, look, these people are stopping me from declaring the wrong results. They are criminals. They are breaking your law. So, and they are the ones breaking the law. Can you see? They are stopping me from committing a crime. Yeah. They are stopping me from catch them. They are stopping me from reaching this election. Whoever is going to defeat Tinubu must do red eye. Show red eye.
All right, sir. Dr. Kacha, I don't know if your network is stable.
Yes. What he's saying, his words are very simple. He's saying that the incumbent will deploy on democratic means, and that whoever wants to defeat Tinubu and take power should be ready to checkmate those undemocratic protocols that will be deployed by Tinubu. Very simple. use the police and the other coercive agencies to accuse those who may want to come to the streets.
Hey, did you know that SMUD is now paying Sacramento homeowners thousands of dollars upfront to put a backup
of attempting to undermine the democratic process, and they have them arrested so that someone somewhere will declare the fake results, which in Nigerian parlance will have been written, and simply after its announcement and you complain, you'll be told to go to court.
So do you think that P2B has the capacity to have that right idea? That's what I'm saying. Because a lot of people have said that he's a bit too calm and gentle for this style of politics.
It is never a B2B. It has never been the candidate. It has always been the population. If you check the Kano results, it wasn't the candidates. The Kano people will vote and they refuse to leave. And once you see them all on the road and you want to go disperse them, and then somebody say, like how many people? Say, they're up to 700,000 people all on the streets. The government will think twice before going to attack such people with lethal force. So how many of the citizens are willing to vote and stay out on the streets waiting to have those votes counted and announced? And that's where the problem is. So like that is saying, before you think you want to stay and hear the results, someone will come with water cannons, with tear gas, with guns, with police and baton to disperse you from gathering, to stay on the streets in wait for the declaration of these results. And this is where these issues are. So we have had this history happen before. That's why that is pointing to it, that if you're willing to defeat Tinubu, you should be willing to also counter the undemocratic protocols that could be deployed towards the announcement of what he called the fake results. Once those results are announced, the next thing is you'll be told to go to court. And that's where our problem is. So for me, Nigeria's crisis starts from us not having free and fair election, us not having institutions that could be relied upon, like the Electoral Commission, to do an honest job. It's a problem. It's a problem. And that's why when we hear people say Nigeria was designed to fail, I agree. It was designed to fail. And now we are at a place where we're not very, very comfortable. And if we continue like this, I can assure you, one day, Nigeria will come to an end. It's not possible to have an entity or a machine or a thing that just would not perform properly. It will die. It will die. So we are watching, and we're actually getting to the very end of this, because a lot of people have seen everything. You know, the way they will say Nigeria street balance, you have seen finish. You've seen it all. There is nothing else for anybody to tell anyone about Nigeria. The final chapter was revealed by the Americans as they came in, and they found that, yes, there are people in Nigeria using violence to get to power, and they're sustaining that violence to maintain their stay in power, and using that violence to keep the citizens down. So, whatever it is, what are we Nigerians willing to do? The Americans have given us a headway. Are we going to come together and try to think together, or we are too busy, carried away, doing some other silly things that we cannot think together? If you want to liberate yourself, you need to think together. Today, the country is captured by a few politicians who employ violence to stay at the top, and that is not normal. It's not normal. If a state continues like this, it will die. Nigeria has gotten to the point where it will die. Forget what anybody tells you. What we're doing right now is simply not sustainable.
Now, talking about sustainability, really, I'd like us to just look at this before we go to the major conversations we have for today. So, residents of Okura community in Yaba West Local Government area of Kogi State have reportedly abandoned their homes, like the entire village is deserted, leaving the town deserted following a surge in insecurity in the area. Remember that Yaba West has always been on the news for attack. Now, a video obtained, captured by Egbe Makum, a local news outlet, on yesterday, Thursday, shows the streets of Okura completely quiet, with homes abandoned and no sign of movement in the area. These people don't get at that now. Remember saying at DNIBC they attack them, then kidnap the Ekwa church members, but they're still releasing in batches still now. Let me just show you a sneak peek of what the community is like now, and this is very worrisome.
Thank you, my brother. Hello, Theo. Elabe. It's good to see you. If you have time, can come to.
All right, so you can see how quiet an entire village is. An entire village is so calm and quiet. No sign of human being. Hey, what is going on? And people are saying that by the time you say Jack Robinson now, you now see other people breaking into these homes here and living inside. These deserted homes may be now occupied by others, people who are not indigenous people from that place. For almost 2 minutes, he's been walking around. There's no sign of any other human being around. Now, just to be clear, this is also the state of some communities in Benue, Plateau, Sokoto, and some other areas where they have faced constant attacks like this. You see, in the past houses, nothing will happen. Everyone will be quiet. This is really worrisome. This is really worrisome. These are supposed to be people's homes. Even the major road is deserted.
I shouldn't even be talking about this, but Powerball and Mega Millions are trying to put me in jail after I discovered how any American can hit.
My goodness, Dr. Catch, let me not escalate this further. This is very, very worrisome. Let me take your input about this. I mean, considering and there are scores of attacks still going on. What's your reaction to this? Because one of the reasons I raised this conversation is because today there's been news that Nigeria has been named the epicenter of global killings of Christians over faith in 2025, and we win that award with a staggering 3,490 Christians murdered in 2025 in Nigeria alone. And this figure accounts for 72% of the total number of Christians killed worldwide. Worldwide, you had 4,849 Christians killed globally. And Nigeria alone, I get 3,490. We're about 72% of that figure. This is crazy. Now, the staggering and the growing wave of persecution against Christians across sub-Saharan Africa has led more there in the latest Open Doors World Watch, the watch list for 2025. Now, the report says 3 out of 4 Christians murdered worldwide are in Nigeria. Killed in Nigeria. 14 of the top 50 countries, 14 rather, of the top 50 countries worldwide were verified, where you can have substantial and verified deaths could be reasonably linked to victims of Christians' faith in Africa. And then Nigeria. Open Doors is a global Christian charity supporting Christians' persecution for their faith. Now, the organization states that 1 in 7 Christians in the world face such persecution, and then most of them are in Nigeria. Now, Africa's most populous nation is also ranked as the 7th worst in the world for persecution in all its forms, whether Christian or anyone. Why will carry first for the persecution of Christians? Won't carry first for the 7th for the world for any sort of persecution. Muslims have also been killed in Nigeria, but the latest data from the report shows Christians have disproportionately targeted or have been disproportionately targeted. These are, 4 of the affected states that they named in their report. I think they named several states. They named the Benue State, Plateau State, Taraba State, and then in Western Kaduna. Southern Kaduna. These are the 4 areas they mentioned and captured in this report. And this is very worrisome. As I speak to you, U.S. Congressman, lawmaker, has called the attention of international communities to the continued persecution of Christians in Nigeria after this report that was made known. Now, the report said, over this report, reacting to the report in a post on his Twitter X handle, lawmaker James John, who revisited the alarm he raised in the persecution of Christians earlier, in Nigeria for years. He said Nigeria has been described as menace as a targeted, systematic persecution for Christians, and this is worrisome. He also called on the United States and the world not to look away from the fact that is undeniable, that the facts of Christian persecution in Nigeria is undeniable. These were his words. This is worrisome. If we carry first for another thing, I want to be carry first to kill people now, Dr. Catch. This is troubling. And then you can see evidence in the community I showed you for how long that video was going on, almost a 5 minutes long video. I had to, cut it. You didn't see a human being, and that's a Christian community.
Well, what next the government will do is to deny it. What you are seeing is the scorecard, or rather the post-mortem of the Buhari presidency. Nothing as evil as Buhari has ever happened to anybody in Nigerian history. Buhari was evil. He was the devil himself. Oh, yes.
Sir?
What you are seeing is a post-mortem of the Buhari presidency. And the fact that...
That's 2 years he's not been in power. This
what you are seeing, yes, the Tinubu's incompetence also is what you talk about. For 2 years he's not been in power. But Buhari did it so badly that...
The real tax deadline isn't April 15th, it's January 1st. If you miss it, you hand the IRS another full year of your compounding. Here's how most high-income earners...
The scale of these attacks frightened Tinubu to even try to do something or try to pose those who have now gained advantage and upper hand and kind of become the new masters in these areas that Tinubu was too afraid to do it in. And that's why I said Tinubu was incompetent in calibrating a response to the Fulani crisis. And today, whether you like it or not, see, when the Americans came in, someone said, no, don't mention the people's name. Don't call the people involved. Just call the bandits. That's foolishness. We're talking about a national security problem, and you don't want us to speak the truth about the problem. Yorubas have Muslim. It's not the Yorubas killing people. It's not the Yorubas killing in Katsina. It's not the Yorubas killing in Benue. It's not the Yorubas killing in Plateau. It's not the Yorubas in Taraba. It's not the Yorubas in Niger State. It is Fulani. And who did this? Buhari. And when we came, the U.S. Congress listed the Minyati Allah Cattle Breeders Association. It also listed the Minyati Allah Cattle Hori, which the President Buhari Tinubu administration is charging the commissioners in Bauchi State who took orders from Governor Bala Mohammed to fund the terrorism by the Miyetti Allah Kautal Hore in Benue State and other states. So there are also other politicians who were funding some terrorism cells just as a strategy to get close or get to the good books of President Buhari. Nigerians suffered evil. It's unspeakable things. Yet, some Nigerians are in denial. Why? We have gotten so used and so infested by takia. The takia, which is the code of deceit, we now have embraced that culture of denial. This is not good. We need to face this crisis. How old are we going to live on this earth? If we don't say it, our children will be imprisoned. Why is this going on? Why did Buhari start the jihad? Why did Buhari call Fulanis from all over the world to come to Nigeria? And there is no land. And what do they have to do? They have to ethnically cleanse and wipe out Nigerians for them to be able to take over their land. That's what you're seeing. And to ethnically cleanse, you must be genocidal.
Well, what a lot of people would ask, you mentioned the Miyetti Allah issue with...
they are listed in the U.S. Congress.
I do know that.
Allah Kautal Hore and
yes.
the Miyetti Allah Kautal. These people, I have been on television with the Miyetti Allah Kautal Breeders Association telling me, no, what you're saying is not true. It's just normal community crisis. I say community crisis in Benue State, 98% Christian community, 86% Catholic. And people will say, Allahu Akbar, and use that to sack entire communities like the one you saw. And then, as the Americans visited last month, they went to Benue State and they saw concentration camp of indigenous people living in concentration camp, whereas foreigners have taken over their land because of the success of the jihad, and government is keeping quiet and comfortable. That's the number one reason to say the government is complicit.
That's exactly what I was going to say. So, there was the point accusing Bala Mohammed of terrorism financing. When the person, I'm coming, sir. When the person they said he financed, and as mentioned by them, was Bello Bodijo. And Bello Bodijo is the head of Miyetti Allah Kautal Hore. And Miyetti Allah has not been prescribed by Nigeria as a terrorist organization. So why is it a problem for Nigeria that Bello Bodijo was giving money and then he started as financing terrorism? Does it mean that the Nigerian government is simply linking the Miyetti Allah to terrorism but refuse to prescribe them as a terrorist organization? Could that be the case?
Don't forget that the Nigerian government is only coming out of the bedroom where they were hiding. The Nigerian government was hiding in the bedroom, very afraid of confronting these Fulani leaders. You saw what happened in Katsina State. National security is an exclusive business of the federal government. But as the federal government is talking about how to handle the terrorism, Katsina State government is already releasing terrorists. Let them go, get out, let them be freed. And they say, why are you releasing the terrorists? He said, no, we have resolved. We have talked. That's because what? Katsina State government is number one complicit state. That is Buhari's state. In order to make Buhari happy, the state government and the politicians there imbibe the code of the terrorists. Seeded 20 local government out of 34 of the local government to terrorists, paying the money every month. It is because of they have seen what the Americans are doing with the Nigerian government that they now think they can let some of the terrorists free, let them run away. Don't you see that we have problem? The Nigerian government doesn't seem to have a grip on this crisis. And so...
Tired of waiting on a realtor? Need to sell your house fast? Largest Home Buyers is now in your...
Here we go again with the same network issue. It's really becoming unbecoming. Sincere apologies for the network issues. So sorry, Dr. Kaj, because I can imagine how inconvenient in this is for you to have this network issue. So yes, that's one of the issues we had to go through. And the U.S. congressman has warned, as he quoted the report and said, "I've been raising the alarm on the prosecution of Christians in Nigeria for years. The facts are undeniable. 72% of Christians killed globally were murdered in Nigeria. This is targeted, systematic persecution. Now, the United States and the world must look away. He is encouraging the world not to. But of course, instead of perhaps curbing the issue, Nigerians are now blaming their governments of, trying to bribe or perhaps lobby the United States to perhaps calm down the narrative of Christian genocide. And that's been a big problem. When Dr. Kat joins us back again, and I would like him to touch on that very quickly. But then, Malam Jaberi has accused the Bola Ahmed Tinubu administration of deliberately failing Nigerians on security, alleging that the government knows the whereabouts of notorious bandits leader Bello Turji and other terrorists too, but has refused to take decisive action against them. Now, Jaberi made the allegation in a post on his X handle where he criticized the continued violence and insecurity affecting millions of Nigerians. In the past, Jaberi warned that Nigerians would continue to suffer the consequences of what he described as failed and irresponsible leadership if citizens do not collectively challenge those in power. So that sits there, he did prove. And then he said that government's inaction in the face of widespread killings and bandit attacks reflects a lack of commitment to protecting innocent lives and restoring safety across the country. Jaberi also took aim at the ruling All Progressives Congress, describing the party as a cancer that has enabled insecurity and poor governance. Now, his remarks come amid growing public frustration over worsening insecurity under President Bola Tinubu's administration. Of course, that of President Muhammad Buhari leads him, while he's calling for urgent action. But people are saying that isn't enough. Now, let me even see if I can read an excerpt of that tweet. People are saying that could it be true that the president may know the whereabouts, or that security forces may know the whereabouts of Bello Turji, but perhaps are just helpless and can't do anything about it. Dr. Catch. So sorry, I can imagine how disruptive this is and how inconveniencing it is for you. Do you believe that President Tinubu may likely know, or security forces may know the whereabouts of Bello Turji? You can't hear me. Nothing changed. It may be from your settings, sir. Nothing changed. Nothing changed. It may be from your settings, sir. It may be from your settings. Sincere apologies. But whilst we're talking about this, our own Frank Uto has also gone to the U.S. Congress, where he also, of course, spoke greatly about the Christian genocide. Dr. Catch, can you hear us now? Can you hear us now, Dr. Catch? Can you hear us now? Can you hear us now? Oh, goodness. I may very well just turn this into a telephone conversation because it's just very, very inconvenient. Can you hear us, Dr. Catch? All right. If I had known a password, I've had a phone conversation all along because this is not, it's not effective in any way at all. It's not effective at all. Well, let's see if we could have a phone conversation. Sincere apologies, please. It's just a bit crazy dealing with these issues. I'm sorry, this is Nigeria. We can see the kind of frustration we have to go through to do some things that other people have on a platter. But here, we suffer to make that happen. Dr. Kat, can you help me? Maybe we'll just have a full conversation. It's just so frustrating. So frustrating. I'm so sorry.
No problem. That's where I'm a Nigerian, and I'm willing to accept anything. It will last forever. One day, things will get better.
Thank you, sir.
You're talking to me. What about those APC afraid of somebody approaching the courts to simply have the party to register? Don't you know that there are reasons for such things? So we have different kinds of problems every day in Nigeria. We shouldn't worry about this small one.
All right.
The dialogue protocol.
All right, sir. All right, sir. So a northern Nigerian has accused President Tinubu of and the security agencies of knowing exactly the whereabouts of Bello Turji and other terrorists, but have refused for political reasons to go after them. And in fact, he called the APC a cancer. What's your reaction to that, sir?
I look forward to you joining us at our next investor webinar, where you can drill deeper into our 9 to 13% annual.
Well, this has been the issue for the past 10 years. You know, the APC chieftain supporting terrorism, and then we did nothing. Whoever is now speaking up, I will tell the person good morning. Where were you when I was talking, and all of you kept quiet? We were all afraid of Buhari. If he had joined me since that time to speak up, we would have gotten further than that. No, it's not just easy blaming Tinubu. There were reasons. When all of us kept quiet, these people got successful. Tinubu became afraid, even when he now became president. So if we didn't keep quiet, things will get bad. See? I think we have to learn to do these things the way they should be done. But I also commend those who have now woken up and found their voice in northern Nigeria. I recognize it's not easy to find your voice, to find the courage. I think that's the main issue. The number one problem that has kept Nigeria in this state of facility is the absence of courage. So I don't understand. I see things differently. I work hard to get to the truth. And when I have access to the truth, I use that to work. I never get afraid that anybody will do me anything because I speak the truth and I make doubly sure that the things I share with the public are the facts. So you can see sometimes when I talk, why are you saying that? Why? That's just a fact. I told somebody this morning on television on a program, I said Nigeria has a felony problem. But because we are all afraid to admit it, it has eaten it into us like a cancer. It took the Americans to come here, and the people they wrote down, the Minister Allah, Council of Hurry, plus the Minister Allah, these are felony organizations. Add that to Tabitha Fulaku, and the these are all the people whose element have been responsible for this violence, for this slow motion war, for this jihad. And how have Nigerians reacted? They just keep quiet. They feel so sad because they lack the courage to speak up. And when they speak up, they're talking nonsense. The government was responsible during the Buhari administration of floating and paying about 37 different groups. Their job was just to be doing Biafra now. And that's how it is. Yes. And when Tinubu came in, and because nobody gave him a handle about those things they were working on that mission, he couldn't fund them. And that was how the unknown government sting operation, overt operation, ended. Because there was no more federal funding. The Americans are here now. The Americans know who are doing terrorism in Nigeria. Why? They have far more sophisticated intelligence gathering assets in Nigeria today than the Nigerian government does. The Americans know who's doing all the terrorism. And the terrorism, they know who's doing, and they know who, we know who. You know, the day when they were to come to Imo State and break into the prison, I knew that 2 days before. So I flew into Owerri to come and alert those that I should talk to. I was actually at the hotel when these people came, and they were there for 2 hours, 40 minutes. There was no reaction from the DSS, no reaction from the police, no reaction from the army. And when they finished, that was it. You know,
but Dr. Carr, do you think the US actually even means well? Because isn't that the same US that were spending 9 million naira to lobby so that they can calm down? And if Trump wanted to strike, I mean, he would have done multiple by now.
You're talking about private citizens. Listen,
sir?
These are private organizations who are being paid
to lobby their government.
But let me also tell you, the Nigerian government has very skilled diplomats who actually do a much better job than these lobbyists. Okay? When Tinubu and Tuga and all that were talking, what's his name? Ribadu was able to meet Hexet directly on his own. You don't need these people. But because of people are afraid, they're hearing the Americans insist on regime change. Listen.
You think Donald Trump wanted to effect a regime change in Nigeria, and that's why Tinubu is doing this $9 million thing?
I don't know the reasons for the fears of politicians, but I'm trying to tell you that the right way to fight against regime change demands is to do the right thing. Don't pay money to try to deny what the world knows through years of strategic intelligence gathering. I repeat, the United States has far stronger assets across Nigeria for intelligence gathering than the Nigerian government. I know that for sure. So trying to tell them that what they already know is a lie is just getting them very angry. And that was why the U.S. people who came here were so angry with Ribadu that all they were just trying to do was just a lie to them. They don't like it when you lie. They try to undermine their intentions to seek the truth. And they came here to try to go to Plateau, Kaduna, and Benue. But after going to Benue and seeing over 600,000 people in one concentration camp, they felt there's no need to go to the other place. They have everything they want. And these people in concentration camp, whereas other foreigners, Fulanese, are living in their villages, their ancestral homes. Some might even be renamed, as the government says, about 64 communities. And the government does nothing. So you don't start getting people to go and lobby. You don't lobby somebody who already knows the truth. What you have to do is to behave properly, so that when you act, you will act with the knowledge that you're doing quite some efforts to try to correct some of the bad things that he knew before he engaged you. And not to tell him what you know is not true, and please don't do this, and let's not have that. It's not true. Donald Trump is so happy that what he's doing in Nigeria is giving him a lot of mileage with the evangelicals. Nigerians don't understand. The Nigerian government don't even understand the reason for the Israeli involvement. Israel believes that a lot of the lying politicians who are responsible for promoting terrorism in Nigeria are the same ones who come to.
You will want to throw your metformin away after testing this natural tricks. This is the last time I'm sharing this here.
New York, screaming and abusing Israel for its activities in the occupied territories. So you are doing what in Nigeria? And you have the audacity to come and even accuse someone else that you're doing this. You've not corrected your own. That's why you saw the Christmas Day bombing was preceded by Netanyahu's announcement. And Netanyahu has told you he is willing to come here and fight, just as you've had the American announcement about the Muslim Brotherhood.
Yes, I was going to say that, but because you know that the Muslim Brotherhood is an umbrella body of most of these terrorist organizations, and that means that they also have affiliations in Nigeria. So isn't that a bit too heavy for us to carry at this time that we have this crisis in Nigeria and this global attention?
The global attention is good for Nigeria. What is not good is the attempt at denial. You know, when we now embrace that historical affinity to deny, which is the Takia, and lots of the leaders there know, it offends those who are intelligently informed about the true situation of things. It's not an issue. That's why if you hear me speaking on any television program, I don't even listen to those who get to deny. I tell them Nigeria has a Fulani problem, and that problem has a historical timeline. The British left. When they left, the South was free. Then, in the North, where the British employed the Fulani to help them do what history refers to as indirect rule, and which is colonize the Hausa, look after them, administer them, report back to the British. The Fulani are historic not indigenous in Nigeria. They came to Nigeria in 1803, 1804. They came from places like Syria and Yemen. They first came to the Kanuri area. The Kanuris rejected them. Then they moved forward to the Mandinka areas and stayed with the Mandinka and the Sushu and the Mande. But they later on came back to a place called Gober, today in Sokoto State. And the Goberwa king accepted the mandate of, you are a teacher of Islamic, you are an Islamic missionary. He said, yes. He said, teach my son Yoruba. Some of this your new job to do. And that was that. After the king died, the king, Gober, the Fulani now seized Gober, seized his son, he used Gober to set up an army And that was from where they now staged the attack on the House of Omoye. And as they say, the rest is history. So when the British came, they told them, that the British had already been given the mandate from the Berlin Conference to come take over here. Meanwhile, the British were not the first to come there. The Portuguese were the first to come there. Then when the British came to the mandate from the Berlin Conference, they had to go back to a note they signed with the Admiral Regala, who was primarily in charge of the River Niger, because then, marine powers were the mainstay during that period, and they had prime.
All right, sir. So this lobby by Nigerian government, some people are calling it global embarrassment. I mean, we've had, especially some U.S. citizens like Mike Arnold, I'm sure you remember him, the one that has been dragging Red Mockery, and one other lobbyist, the U.S. lobbyist, Elias Grasalis, he too has been complaining about it. But he's saying that because he's alleged to be the lobbyist for IPOB and Biafra group. And then governments know they talk saying IPOB and Biafra. Now then they lobby to make sure they push U.S. to come strike Nigeria and to take action for Nigeria because of marginalization of both Christians and some ethnic nationalities. In fact, according to the statement, they say IPOB, the likes of IPOB, they pay their own lobby group like $66,000 monthly. Then President Tinubu top him on $750,000. So he too has been complaining and said that the Tinubu thinks that they can outspeed him in what's going on and that it's never possible. They can't watch that away. In fact, as this one happened, the Mike Arnold even post, they said with this report of Nigeria topping global ranking for killing of Christians, say that the kind of thing where they won't watch away with $9 million. Say $9 million don't watch this kind of thing away. So with this kind of international attention, you don't get.
Staying late again? Yep, got prospect calls to summarize. You really need to switch to Monday CRM. Your old CRM is holding you back. My CRM is not old, it's vintage.
And this is what U.S. Congress put on it. Of the same people that they want to bribe to calm down, what do you think the resultant effect will be?
It will be embarrassment.
Hey.
I can tell you right now that Nigeria has some really talented, very, very talented diplomats who can do a better job. And the U.S. government would love to deal with those diplomats, but no, we can't stop this from collecting money and promising you, I will do this, I will do that. It's a different thing. When you employ a diplomat who knows his job, who's doing his job, it's a different thing from when you not employ a lobbyist who goes there and tries to say, no, don't do this, don't do that. It's too little, too late, because the train has left the station. The U.S. government has already been properly sold on the issues in Nigeria. The U.S. has tons and tons and tons of data of what's going on in Nigeria. So if Trump seeks what to do to make the evangelical base happy, he already has actionable intelligence on his desk. What the lobbyists would try to say, maybe, okay, we know this is true, but cool down, do this, do that. But the more you try to lie to Washington about what Washington already knows is true, I think it will be muddying of the entire water. And as I said earlier, the earlier diplomatic breakthroughs that Libadu and Tuga got with Hexet and so in Washington, they didn't do that with lobby. They did that on their own. So I think, yes, the lobbyists will try, but of course, it wouldn't stop. Yes, I am aware that there are a lot of people lobbying. The Catholic Church also has its own lobby group whom they met, and that's why we saw the cries from the Benue Basin were heard in Washington. And yes, the IPOB people also have their own very strong lobby.
You're very correct, Dr. Kat, because one of our guests here, who's also from Benue State, and indeed, from that Catholic extraction in Benue State, was in the U.S. Congress yesterday. He was before the Congress yesterday, speaking very seriously about this genocide. In fact, he said plenty of things. He said, say over 12 billion naira, 19 people won't use wash away the death of plenty people. He's from Yawata, and he spoke about his experiences as somebody who's from Yawata and the attack that, that has been going through in Benue State over the years. And with all of these eyewitnesses when they come and talk, you feel say the same Congress that they send me them bribe, go watch their presidents do otherwise. I don't know, it ain't hard to believe. But people like this have spoken out.
You could get the Republicans to stay hands. The Republicans have been yearning to give something to the evangelicals. And now, what Trump is doing in Nigeria excites the evangelicals. You go on to lobby. Even though the lobby is bigger than Israel, Israel is already lobbying Trump to be strong on the Nigerian issue.
Dr. Katz, take them easy, no offense. Are you saying that Israel is also lobbying the United States to go harder on Nigeria?
Exactly.
Yeah?
That's why you see, the beginning of that's why you see those who were pushing Trump to take action in Nigeria were mostly leaders and friends of IPAC, Israeli lobby group. This game started when they saw those that the IPAC leaders called hypocrites come to the United States to start lambasting, abusing Israel, and screaming at Israel for what Israel was doing in the occupied territory. Israel now said, okay, is that what you did? Then Israel now woke up its friends in the Jewish lobby, in the U.S. political establishment, and then what you now have is the Israeli friends cracked up the game. Trump said, we got something really important. What is it? A lot of people come here to
I'm about to show you something that makes me furious every time I see it. This is a real tax return from someone making $284,972 a year in W-2 income. And look,
shout at you, shout at Israel, and actually doing something worse. You show. Let me see the report. And when they saw the report, it's true. When they suspended the congressional delegation to come here on fact-finding, the congressional delegation saw so much at the concentration camp in Benue that they didn't need to go to Kaduna or Plateau again. So Nigeria has a very steep, hill to climb. I wish them well. The right thing to do is not relying on lobbies to help you. No, the right thing to do is make sure you stop the killing. Make sure you restore the people concentrated at the concentration camps, that they are restored back to their ancestral lands and villages. And that seems to be a problem.
I was going to say that, absolutely, because a lot of people are saying that what the government is doing is misplaced priority. Why not spend this money, in the care for your people? Why not spend the money to care for your people? Why spend this money to try to change the narrative? In fact, one U.S. official, that Mike Arnold, call them war of words. That the Nigerian government, you had mentioned that war of words something the last time, and in fact, most times when you talk, war of narratives. War of narratives are fantastic. You had mentioned that before, and that's exactly what he stated again. He said it's war of narratives. That we will rather spend money on war of narratives than do the right thing. And it's worrisome to hear someone. This is exactly what he said. See the tweets here, making it like he said $9 million. See him now. He said $9 million to buy silence. So $9 million buys a lot of silence. He says while Christians are butchered, burned, and buried under ash in Nigeria, the same regime holding hiding behind Christian protection. Posters is writing checks in Washington D.C. To cover the truth. And he said that, he ended that by saying that the narrative warfare isn't just spy spin, and that's very worrisome. That isn't just spin; it's how genocide survives by this narrative warfare. And because I've heard you say that before, it's just a bit worrisome that our government will want to spend money on a narrative that will suit them, rather than actually spend that money to care for the people. Now, people are now questioning that the people with the IDP camp, Congo, what are you doing to better their lives? These people are in very miserable condition in the IDP, very distasteful condition in the IDP. If that $9 million go to their welfare, it will improve their lives. In fact, if you won't build a hostel, that $9 million don't reach to use build like camps, proper camps, where you go there like say na hostels and all that, so that they will live like human beings instead of staying for big tents where they just did here. So people are saying that what is wrong with our government? And not just him, every other person has also complained about that. So do you think that this would yield any results at the end of the day, considering that what money cannot do, more money may do?
What I would tell you is what money cannot do, more money will do. Nigerian government is not willing to throw money at it, but unluckily for the Nigerian government, the Americans already know what's going on. The world knows what's going on. But it also exposes how evil the French and the English have been towards us. The French government is only interested in how Nigeria can help it, sustain more apartheid, neocolonialism, and to put Africans under bondage. The British government, of course, have not any capacity to be influential. How come they kept quiet? They did all this, and the thing has backfired. What have they done since to try to correct it? The Americans are here now. Let's watch. But then also say something. Nigerians are not going to get freedom just on a platter of gold. They have to also be willing to work by themselves. Now that the world knows what's going on, how are the Nigerians going to organize? Organize. Israel has said, if you organize and you seek to break away, we'll come and help you. Nigerian government has not seen such serious organizing. Once people start organizing internally, they want to break away, they want to succeed. I don't see Nigerian government clamp down, because once you clamp down, you start killing more. The Americans and Israelis will come in. So this is just the beginning of this worldwide intervention in this historical problem that Nigeria has had. And this problem has been going on since from the 70s. So the fact that the world now is paying attention to Nigeria is a good thing. I am not going to simply embrace despair simply because I have.
Hey, did you know that SMUD is now paying Sacramento homeowners thousands of dollars upfront to put a backup back?
The Nigerian government is going to spend money to lobby. No. Tinubu is lobbying for him to be able to survive. Yes, that's what it is.
Okay, so you know they just lobby to kill the narrative now for him to survive the 2027 election.
Kill the narrative. See, the important thing is there has been some kind of calibration of information sharing to the extent that the world powers, the U.S. government has spoken to, the U.S. president has added words to it, the U.S. Congress has strengthened the delegation here. So let's see how far this goes. You can only buy a little breathing space for Tinubu. You're not going to wipe this out because very soon the evangelicals will wake up and become the lobbying group in terms of this. If you have up to 90% of global killings of Christians,
72% of global killings.
Well, if it's that, it is very, very bad. It's not going to go away. It wouldn't stop because a lot of these leaders who are paying the money at the top for lobbying they don't have the capacity to even stop it. Since the Americans intervened, what have they done in the 64 villages that foreigners are now occupying in Plateau? Nothing. So they seek to double down. That's why you're seeing the spending. And I tell you, something we give. Something we give. Just take that. Something we give.
All right, sir. All right, sir. We will come back to this issue because I get more things I want to ask you about this issue. But because of time and Nigerians need to jump in on the conversation, we will quickly talk about the 1966 coup and the narrative we don't go around since concerning the 1966 coup. Say before now, they don't get widely known as the Igbo coup, where they talk, say, oh, people don't die for the coup, and Igbo people come together, come do coup, we kill only other tribes, especially Hausa people, and the death of the Southern and all that issue. I would like to touch a little bit about that. Some people, there's been interviews across social, even IBB don't talk and say, no, that could not be coup, while others are saying that it was inevitable, and all that. It just happened that he had more high-ranking people in power at that time. But let me take your reaction to what's going on as we commemorate 60 years exactly today of that incident. We don't shape the future of Nigeria.
Well, what I would say is most of the elder statesmen who participated in the Civil War are now having a regret about their participation. You can see the behavior of Obasanjo, the behavior of Danjuma. They did all these things to keep Nigeria one. And suddenly, some people tricking the now appropriated Nigeria and trying to colonize the rest of the indigenous people in our country. That's what's making everybody very sad. You see Danjuma very angry. His people are targeted in Taraba State. His people are killed. He's possessed of their land. Remember, the largest group of Northerners that joined the army during the Civil War were the Peace from Benue State, the old Benue Plateau State. They were followed by the Bachama, who are from Newman in Northern. But when the Fulani started their killing, it was the same TV and the Bachama that they actually started the killings with. So most people are very, very disappointed that in Nigeria they say they fought to keep one, that their people are being killed. Look at go on.
So the same middle belt people will fight now to keep the Nigeria one against the people. Then they die past any other tribe.
Exactly. And even the Hausa.
Including Hausas, we follow them fight too.
Hausas are killed like flies in places like Paskari, Malupashi, Tapana, Batari, Lutima, and Musa, Kankara. Hausas are killed in Guloy. Hausas are killed in Katina, and Sokoto State. It's sad what's going on. So everybody who were during the Civil War in the federal side fighting for the Fulani are now being killed by the Fulani. And that's where the regret is. That's why you see people like that are very angry. And once you have water, you have grass, you attack it. So how did we get here? How did we get here? How come everybody was tricked to concentrate their energy on evil as the enemy, and then suddenly their own elimination and extinction was being planned by the same group that they thought they were working with? So I would say Nigeria is at the crossroads. And now I will tell people to wake up. I believe the problem we have are not impossible to resolve. The main issue is courage. Nigerians need courage, not embracing docility. Secondly, you need knowledge about the diversity of the North and the heterogeneous people who are in the North. Okay? You have several people. We do have the Fulani problem. Don't try to push that away. We do have. They don't have numbers. They got advantage. Now we're democracy. And the democracy needs numbers for them to sustain or even be able to keep control of the advantages and the privileges they got during the days of the military dictatorship. The Fulani can have it. And to be able now to hold it, they are now important fighters to now leading a jihad against Nigeria. Who stopped it? Americans came and bombed Sokoto. But then that's not enough. Nigerians need to wake up and unite and stop what they're doing. The Fulani have hold us down security-wise. They also hold us down politically. They don't even want indigenous Nigerians to become part and parcel of the governance of Nigeria.
So Dr. Kaj, I would like to know what you would say to those who perhaps keep ignoring the Awolowo factor as a fundamental issue in the coup, and then rather just spin it to be an Igbo coup, irrespective of what it is that has transpired. And the fact that so many people have come and like IBB and others have come out to say that, look, this is not just about Igbos. It was just that you had more people at the helm of affairs or at that group at that time, or more people in the military then from Igbo extraction. The reason I'm asking this question again is because you think that is a reason for some sort of Igbo apathy in the military today, because you don't have Igbo anymore as much as they used to be in military.
No.
Okay.
No. The Igbos saw that the Nigerian state was not designed to work.
So they deliberately stopped joining.
Yeah. The Igbos saw it's not designed. Okay, take a look at the military. Just take it. At the past 3 months, what we have, the army complaining of mass desertion. Okay. Why did we come to the stage of mass desertion by youth? Because the Fulani leaders who managed to get into political offices told soldiers, don't shoot, don't react, do engage until we give you authorization to engage. And by not engaging, the picture was painted like the Fulani militias were invisible. Today, that Mr. Maposa has now reversed that do not engage. So what happened? The Fulani militias have been rooted everywhere, sacked everywhere, to the extent the Nigerian army have taken possession of the Sambisa forest. So Nigeria was designed to fail. And when the Fulani didn't get what they want, they started now plotting this settler colonialism. 64 communities have new settlers who intend to colonize those communities. What are we doing in this day and age? We're not even calibrating the national response. Why? Tinubu, our president, is incompetent to even think about that. Some people say he's afraid of what the Fulani will do to him. Don't you then understand the country has a problem? Where are we going? It's a problem where even some people, they are afraid to even listen to the things I'm saying. I think they're arrested if they hear what I'm saying. What about me who say it? They can't say. Here, that's why I tell you, our number one problem is the absence of courage. The absence of courage. Our country has gone to the dogs. And that's why I tell you, that's why you're hearing some people now, in retrospect, tell you that coup was inevitable because Nigeria, as a left, was designed to fail. How can you design it? You say you're doing independence, you left, and you then left the Fulani to continue to colonize the house.
That's the sound of an American oil company hard at work. Want to be a part of it? Listen up.
Hello, my name.
So designed to fail. And then after they now failed, they now thought their success over the Hausa should now be replicated elsewhere. And then after they moved into the Kwarafa area, from the Kwarafa area, they moved into the city, and they were coming down to the south. To the extent, Tinubu, a southern president, is afraid to act. So if you look at us, you can't blame the military officers who are now saying, in retrospect, that the coup was inevitable.
All right, so another reason why make me to ask you this question, now because of the kind of ethnic tension and war we could cause in Nigeria. I have a call on, but please kindly help me stay on hold. I'll bring you in. Now, because of the kind of ethnic tension we caused. Now, a lot of people talk, say, that coup was actually intended to put Awolowo in power and release him from the Calabar prison, right? And Awolowo was a southwestern, not big woman, even though say like people plenty for the group B plots the group, which is undeniable. But a lot of people that they talk and say, even the Yoruba way they try to, the southwestern that they try to, put in their brother through that coup, is also part of. They're also part of those who hate Nigeria, who hate the Igbos, or who are clamoring the fact of keeps going by this narrative that it is an Igbo coup, and forgetting that it was actually intended to also bring their own brother in power. So this will all create a lot of ethnic division and tension and hate for Igbo people. And it's just like saying that most of other Nigerians against Igbo. In fact, as I speak to you even from my comment section, somebody is also saying that it is true that it is an Igbo coup. We have to say the truth because majority of the plotters were mostly Igbo, and no Igbo person died, as it were, compared to other people who died for inside that coup. But he did not also, talk about the narrative that it was actually engineered to put Awolowo in power and to release him from Calabar prison. So how do you think this has really affected us in Nigeria? Because a lot of people think, say, now this reason, in fact, it may be part of the reason we they see no green hand over to Ekweme as you talk. Because people say that since that time, they no green make Igbo person head any position. Go ahead, sir.
It was never an Igbo coup. But it was good for the British to calibrate such story.
Oh, you think the British amplified it?
Oh yes, the British amplified it using the BBC because the British did not intend Nigeria to work. They were the people responsible for building the international coalition that defeated the Igbo. The British were in front of it. So the British thought this thing that they left this way and allowed the Fulani to stay there, it means some officers want to damage it. And then before you know it, the British now started saying those things, using the BBC to amplify it. And once the Nigerians had it on the BBC, we know what the British are saying. They say, you don't know this is this. It was the British doing. It was the British doing. So, and they supplied weapons to make sure that they kept control. And after that, they kept control. So wars are not entered into because people are angry. No, wars are gotten into because some people want to gain advantage. Look at the Ukraine war. The Ukraine war was because of a Monroe Doctrine issue. Same thing as the crisis in Venezuela. It's a Monroe Doctrine issue. When big boys think that their immediate areas of influence have been undermined by some foreign players, they just move in. So Britain saw Nigeria as its immediate area of influence. And they didn't want these officers who were doing this to change what they had arranged. They came back quickly, shipped weapons, built an international lobbying arrangement, got people to be against the Africans who don't want what the British have organized, and the rest is history. So I think at that time, it was the British. It was the British. It was the British. And the BBC was used to lie, to frame narratives. It was just the British. We were fighting against, Nigerians were up against the British, and the British went to that war. It was a genocidal war. It was a genocide.
Hey there, are you struggling to sell your house? Tired of massive commissions and fees?
Okay. It was the British that were at the center of it. So the idea of calling Yoruba, Nigerians were just, Yorubas were showing advantage they can have, say, look, because you got into education first. There's 1943, these Igbos have started changing everything. There's a way to, there's a need to displace them, you got advantage again. And they jumped in. After the Civil War, the same thing was told to the South. I said, seize the Igbo properties in Port Harcourt, take it. Port Harcourt was the only place where Ghana was practiced. They did the same thing with the slave during the election. They said, listen, one power, I say, yes. The Igbos were, the Yorubas were encouraged to do that voter suppression against Igbos. It's never happened before.
So how do we calm all this and get rid of all this, ethnic baiting and ethnicity?
We have to think together, think intellectually. Today, the politician will not allow intelligent people to think and talk. No, they would rather hire the touts, and they give them money, give them guns, link them to police people who, since established by the British, have been a force of coercion. Look at even the army. So how was the army established? The West African Frontier Force, established by the British. But they came here after the Anglo-Arab War, after what they did against the Yoruba. They took those people from Borno. Those were the Borno boys. They came down, and that's how they established what they did, the West African Frontier Force. And that's how you saw the Ajami letter on the Nigerian Army Coat of Arms. The British were the main people who did that. It's an Igbo coup, and they not took it. Even when the Northerners wanted to secede, said, no, we don't go anywhere.
All right, sir.
Hey,
all right, sir.
We'll do this, we'll do that.
All right, sir.
And the rest is history.
All right, sir. All right, so before...
The British were responsible for the Civil War.
All right, before you go, make a just report this to you. That I've been reporting people who defend our trouble for this country to you. So this Mike Arnold man, you don't post a picture of our president declaring him missing. Say, person want to vote for where they, say, is this what you voted for? I would disrespect our president like this, all the way from America. And I don't know what make a vex, not our president make a vex. Why do they, make I tell you another thing way too? You not be only that one, because somebody also posts something where the person say that Tinubu is spending so amount of money on the that money we spend for lobbying for Washington DC and all that. And the person further said that all the work Riley Moore did in Nigeria, all the truth-finding missions by Mike Arnold, all the bills raised by Ted Cruz and the U.S. Congress over Christian killing wiped away with $9 million lobbying contract. The person said a lot. This man reposted this. In fact, second that part where the person talk. Second, see what he can't talk inside. He can't put his own inside. Because he know they possible. Now when they say make a report, make a tell you what's in it. I say make a report and to you. He may respect our president. Now he said, no, nothing is being wiped away. Don't fall for this doomsday garbage by people who don't understand the first thing about how the game is played. This new revelation should energize you, not discourage you. This $9 million contract just shows how desperate it had no with a full chest. Contact our own president with a full chest too. Because it shows how desperate it had the two of them, how they are to claw up control of the story. It's not a flex, it's fear. Then it says you don't drop 14 billion naira on foreign lobbyists only unless the truth already broke through. We exposed the genocide, we triggered congressional action, we flipped global sentiment. Now they are scrambling to bury it under glossy flyers and big smiles. Of course, they are fighting back in their slimy, dishonest way. Slimy. Oh, the word they use our president. This means we fight even harder. We shine the light even brighter, and we don't stop. The truth always wins, but only if we don't give up. Now, so it talk. Make I take your reaction for this. The way the manner at which they use the answers and they address our president. I don't like him, so make a report to you, sir.
This lobbying is a very good.
I shouldn't even be talking about this, but Powerball and Mega Millions are trying to put me in jail after I discovered how any American can hit.
I don't think anybody will be able to stop anybody who wishes to spend their money and their luck and lobbying. So that's normal. But then it depends on also what the lobbying is intended to achieve. As I said earlier, this is great. Before the lobbying contract was paid for, the United States government already had gotten the truth. What they are practically in their eyes to say, I know, but this killing is this, that. What has the Nigerian government as a body done to stop the killing? What has the Nigerian government as a body done to apprehend those who have killed? These are things that the international community will be looking at. What have they done to apprehend those who have killed? What have they done to return the indigenous people currently kept at concentration camps back to their indigenous villages and lands and farms? So if you're going to spend money lobbying, you have to understand that there are other people also lobbying and talking, as you're saying. Let them do the lobbying. We will also do our own. As you earlier pointed out, it is now the time for the war of narratives. Let's see how it goes. The more you try to cover the sun, the more the sun will shine through your hands. It's not going to. Nothing can cover the sun. The sun is already out in daytime and it's already shining. No matter how big somebody's hand is, none can cover the sun. What they can only do is to use the lobbying to mitigate, again, some harsh sanctions or some reactions that could come from the U.S. government. But I do not see anything reverting what's already in the open. And what's in the open is there is killing going on in Nigeria due to the intentions of the Fulanis to seize as much land as possible from indigenous Nigerians. Don't forget, we already paid these lobbyists who were saying, the crisis in Nigeria is due to climatic changes, and so the competition for scarce land is the reason these farmers and elders are fighting. It's not. It's not so. The world knows the truth. But of course, the world will want to support what it wants to support. If the Tinubu and his lobbyists will be harder, stronger, more successful than Israeli lobby, it's all for us to see. But I don't think that will happen. So forget about it. Don't worry about their sudden embrace of lobbying as a way to, buy themselves some peace. It's not going to work.
All right, thank you. Thank you. Nigeria's phone lines are open. Let's have you jumping on the conversation. 08170294077 is the number to call. Or you click on the link in the pin post and it's bringing you straight to the studio to join the conversation. I think I see people from back here. The Barry still are on the you guys will come back. Good evening and welcome. Thank you for joining us.
A very good evening to you, Pressure. You kept me waiting for too long.
I'm so sorry. Forgive me for almost 30 minutes, right?
It's fine. It's fine.
You're welcome. Thank you. Remind me your name and where you're coming from, please.
Davo calling from.
Davo, you're welcome. Go ahead, Davo.
Yeah. Just wanted to talk about two things.
Okay.
Especially about the killings in the north, and then also talk about the January 15th military coup. Quickly, how I wish. I always say, how I wish I'm a content creator. There are so many unhidden truths about what people go through. I always hear much of those confessions when I listen to Garama House TV. And the pressures, have you ever imagined when you are being kidnapped, a father, a mother, and children, an entire family is being kidnapped? Then they will ask, who is this? Your first son. Then they'll ask the first son to sleep with his mother in the presence of his father. Have you ever imagined this?
No, ask me that kind of question. Just go straight.
I'm just saying, that's what normally happens whenever Fulani kidnaps the Hausa people. And then again, there was a narrative that was painted when she said that Bello Turji arrested the boss. There were Hausa people there, women with pregnancy, and then he ordered that anybody that jumped out of the bus should be shot, and then put fire in the bus, and then people were exploding, boom, 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 inside the bus. That was a tip on an outback of what the Hausa were going through. And then the third one is.
So who was? Please, for context, who were the people doing this to the Hausas and other tribes?
The Fulanis.
For where this one happened?
There was some that are happening in Katsina, while some in Sokoto. Even as of yesterday, we hear some content creators were reporting.
Village. There's a village. It's in my news now. I put it in my headline.
Yes,
and the village was attacked in Sokoto State.
Exactly. So there was the people came for naming ceremony of a child, and then the Fulani came and then asked, whose naming ceremony are you celebrating? They now said it's a baby's naming ceremony, and then the Fulani now surrounded the Hausa people and ordered them to. They have already cooked stew for naming ceremony, for stew for eating, and then they ordered the baby to be thrown inside the stew, and then the baby was cut into pieces, and all the father, the mother, and all visitors who came to grace the occasion were forced to eat this stew. If you don't eat it, they will shoot you. That was exactly what happened.
But why people? Why the Hausas don't speak up if this is not true? Why didn't they talk?
The thing is that, okay, there's something that I wanted you to know. Auntie Precious, if you notice the backwardness on education, you are aware that the north is far backward. But if you see the middle belt is far better off when it comes to education, like Plateau, Benue, Niger, Taraba, they are a little bit far better off with education compared to the far extreme northern state, simply because it is the Fulanis who have already over the years, time immemorial, dominated the political space. And then, do you know that the way Igbos have Ohanese as an Igbo, the way me, I am Biron, we have our own organization, we call it BECO, Biron Educational and Cultural Organization. We have even the Tiv people have their own, Idoma have their own, all the tribes in the middle, they have their own groups. Fulani even have Mieti Allah, they have there's another group that you just mentioned to you, the way Balejo belongs to. All those other organizations, about 4 or 5 of the groups belong to Fulani. But you know that the Hausas are not allowed to form a group, any socio-political group, even up to now as I speak. It's not now.
Hausas not be part of Arewa?
They are part of the Fulani that brought the name Arewa. Arewa meaning it is Hausa's creation, the Fulani's creation. What you are supposed to be calling it is a Kasar Hausa, the land of Hausa people, but the Fulani don't recognize that one as. They call it the Fulani. Just like the way you hear them call Mahanga. There's a village called Plateau State. It is, we used to have the name in our own Laburu. We call it in our own language, but the Fulani changed it to Mahanga. Like Plateau, there's a word in Hausa they call in Fulani, they call Filato. Filato is a Fulani word. Then they have said that it is them that created the name of Plateau State. It's just like a way of like creating a narrative to be able to give a name to a particular place. But you and me know that when you go to Plateau in the dictionary meaning of Plateau is mean the place of rock where there are stones, and Plateau is full of stones. But the Fulani created the name, they call it Filato. That's Filto.
And they are claiming claiming that the ones who named Plateau State, so it's their
Yeah, exactly. So those are some of the narrative. So, and then again, come fast forward. Do you know that our king was killed?
King of where?
The Bongom just like the way you have the Obi of your nature, the way you have the Sultan of Sokoto, the way you have, if you go to Kasina,
the way you have the Torti.
The TV, the way they have Torti, which is the paramount ruler. In Plateau State, the paramount ruler, his name is Ruangpam. That Ruangpam is the first Bongom just in Plateau State then. Do you know his son? That's why I actually deliberately called. His son was the first artillery officer that was ever first employed in the entire northern Nigeria. His name is late Lieutenant Colonel James Yakubu.
The real tax deadline isn't April 15th, it's January 1st. If you miss it, you hand the IRS another full year of your compounding.
He's the godfather of General Tiwa Danjuma and the godfather of Olusegun Obasanjo and Yakubu Gowon and Obasanjo and Tiwa Danjuma. When they ever joined the military, he was loved by the British and he was the highly ranking, apart from late May Malad. Late Lieutenant Colonel James Yakubu Pam was the first adjutant general in the military of Nigerian Army. Go and check his history, just Google his name. He was actually killed by the Igbo man during the military coup. And it was even because of him that Danjuma swung into action.
Which of the military coup now? The 1966 coup?
1966, of course. He was in Ikoyi here. His children are still surviving. His sons were, in fact, up to today, tomorrow, Obasanjo and Tiwa Danjuma personally have been paying the children school fees. In fact, saw them till today. One of his daughters now, as I speak to you now, right now, her name is Chindung Sanke. She's a Supreme Court judge right now, as I speak, in the Supreme Court right now. She was just promoted. If all the retired generals have been looking after that family. That man was the most innocent man. He never interfered in politics, but he was killed innocently. If you Google on phone, Google who killed late Lieutenant Colonel James Waipam. He was killed on the 15th. Today is marked his history. And up to today, his body has not been found. Up to now, as I speak, he was never buried.
Okay, so are you saying this on the heels of the fact that you're trying to emphasize on the narrative that the 1966 coup was an Igbo coup?
It was actually, see, let me tell you something.
No, just answer me first now. Answer yes or no.
Allow me to answer it this way.
You have been speaking for a long time. You know others have to follow.
Allow me to answer it this way. I don't know if you remember when PDP, Governor of Ebonyi was actually in PDP,
yes.
And which were going for meeting. There were some meetings that we do when the present minister of Works was also in PDP, but they will be having some meeting without him. So there are some coups that will go on. The real moral behind the coup will not be explained.
All right. So do you know that most of those Igbo people you're talking about that were part of the coup, including Kaduna Zobo? Just hold on now. If you talk, another person asks you a question. Are you aware that most of those people, including Kaduna Zobo, is not from present-day Southeast? He's from South. Are you aware?
I know.
Then why transfer the hate to people of the Southeast and not the South?
Not that
I'm coming. That's the question. After that coup, have we had other coups in Nigeria? And why was he not named? And we've had other coups that were against, between Northerners. Why was he not named that Hausa coup or Fulani coup? Why? What is it that particular coup that is ethnicized? Please, no, now help me explain. Why is that particular coup ethnicized and other coups in Nigeria have not been ethnicized? When people died in other coups too, like they died in this coup. Please tell me why. Is it because this particular one, Igbo people were involved? For the other one, because other tribes were involved, so we cannot ethnicize it?
Dr. Gachi has already explained to you, I am a political science student. There is no military coup that has ever taken place in Nigeria that the hands of the British is not involved.
And so why don't you blame the British and blame the Igbos? That's the point. That's what I'm saying. So why transfer the hate and bitterness to the Igbos and then not the British?
I'm not even blaming the
No, I'm not talking about you particularly. I'm talking about the entire narrative because we've had people like IDP, we've had others come out to say that no, this is actually not an Igbo coup. But we keep having people who re-emphasize this, and that's why I'm asking these questions. And we're all here to learn. Do you understand? So I'm here to learn. I also do not know a lot. After all, I wasn't born then, apart from the things I read about it in history. Okay.
Our king was killed. Do you know what he was poisoned for? He was poisoned with Coca-Cola. Simply because he made one statement. Immediately after the Civil War. Oga,
you are counting your own losses. Do you know the number of people that have been killed as an aftermath of that coup? Do you know that that's part of the anger that also caused the Civil War? That's what I'm saying. So again, who should be held responsible? Would you like it for the Igbos to keep saying, oh, after all, the North Central people join army in killing us in their numbers during the war? So make sure they enjoy on killing by Fulani. Would you like that? It's not fair. So what I'm saying is that let's do away with this ethnicity. It's not helping us. And it's painful for us to hear this kind of hate amongst each other. It's really painful, and that's why I didn't ask that question. If there's been other coups in Nigeria that were conducted by other tribes, why was he not named that tribal coup? We've had other coups. Why was he not named a Fulani coup? Why was he not named a Hausa coup? Why is it an Igbo coup? Why is nobody answering that question?
We in Plateau never knew that the Fulani were separate from the Hausas.
But you know that the Igbos were separate from the Delta State people. A Delta State man commits a crime and you blame the entire Igbo race for the crime.
I look forward to you joining us at our next investor webinar, where you can drill deeper into our 9 to 13% annual.
The Delta State man committed.
These were only elites. These were only elite mistakes. You see, like as I said, Anti-Precious, when our king was killed, because he made one statement he made, he said all the houses belonging to Igbos, because the Igbos own the houses in the city of Jos, in the metropolis. There are Igbos who own shops in Jos Main Market. Jos Main Market happened to be the biggest Igbo market in the entire West Africa that time. Igbos own it, most of the majority, 70% of the shops owners are Igbos. But you know something? Our king made a mention that anybody that should not, no Igbo, no Biroman should not occupy the house belonging to Igbos. Do you know that the Fulani is now organized, called a Northern State Traditional Council meeting, and then that king was poisoned.
you don't do Davos. Let's let others talk. It's okay. You're giving us history. I mean, we know most of the stories already. That's not the bone of contention, but I appreciate your input a lot. But what I'm trying to say is that please, let's just in the first place, we're human beings first of all, before becoming from any tribe. I am River State. My tribe is Ndoki. We are in Abia State. We are in Akwa Ibom State. We are in River State. I will not go hating someone from your town, just because I am from River State. It doesn't work that way. So I still don't understand why we hold on to an unnecessary grudge, even after thousands and millions of Igbos have been killed in the civil war. So we shouldn't be driving this narrative, and that's what I think. I don't do. Let other people talk. It's okay. It's okay. I have given you enough time. Let others talk, sir.
I know.
Please.
But let me make this last point, please.
Okay.
The Hausa people always, the reason why I'm making this narrative, because I belong to their group, they always say that all those things that were happening to them today, it never happened to the Igbos. The Hausa say that they're in Cross River, they're in Igbo land, they're in all the southern states, even Akwa Ibom. No, all the things that the southerners are doing, they are even welcoming them, receiving them peacefully.
So the Hausas are saying that the Igbos and the South Southerners are not treating them the way the Fulanis are treating them. So that means even with the way they hated the Igbos and thought that they're the ones who killed their people, the Igbos still don't hate them that much. Thank you. Thank you so much, Davos. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. All right. Hello, good evening and welcome. I know that you people are so... Dr. Patch, you heard what Davos said. I'd like you to chime in on it, but let me just talk to a few more persons so that I'll let you react. Hello, good evening and welcome.
Good evening, Precious.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, thank you very much. I heard you replying that for last caller.
Davos.
He's trying to convince us in his own way. Because after a lot of people have even those who are involved.
Just go straight with your own contribution. We don't have so much time so that others can talk and I can free Dr. Patch. Yeah? Okay. Thank you, sir.
So first of all, about the Igbo coup they are talking about, that one has been settled. When Babangida wrote his book, I said it's not an Igbo coup. Yes. After a lot of massacre. Then it's very, very obvious. Military, they call civilians, police civilians, as far as in Nigeria setting. So if a few group of military people go and conduct a coup, they cannot use that, and if they don't have an agenda to blanket the whole race, and this have caused a lot of killings, even to date, they are still killing the Igbos, concerning they are also called Igbo coup. But that's by the way, because Biafra is leaving Nigeria, whether they like it or not.
I will talk with me, go. Now you want to leave.
I want to thank, you go join us, you follow us, go, we are going. Yes.
You will go to my ancestors now, you will drag my ancestors. Go ahead, please.
Yesterday, you wait and talk with passion. I say, Precious, don't join every, don't fight it.
So you think that this one are they doing now waiting? Now personal fighting.
You see the activists, when you jump free, don't fight it. You go join the IPOB, say we will take head, carry bullet.
Hey, did you know that SMUD is now paying Sacramento homeowners thousands of dollars upfront to put a backup battery system in their home? That's right, SMUD just launched their brand new My Energy Optimizer partner.
Oh yeah, they talk, my brother. So that's what I'm to during the conversation.
I want to thank this is Dr. Kachi.
Dr. Kachi, okay.
Dr. Kachi has been talking even before the presence of Buhari. He has been consistent with this.
Yes, so he's been very consistent. He never changed much.
One thing I like about him is that the way he talks with boldness and authority is the way Mazen Nandekano talks. That's one good thing about him. But I want to ask him, what did he see about the freedom fighter Mazen Nandekano? That's the question I want to ask him. Because he talks like a freedom fighter.
All right,
thank you. One thing I want the APC government, they can spend all the whole money in Nigeria to stop the Biafra leaving Nigeria. But the point is that they should know that we cannot continue in this APC imported Fulani terrorism. We cannot restructure with them. It's not possible. That's why Biafra is the only option for us. And we will fight it to the last man standing until Biafra is restored. Thank you very much. God bless you and good night.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Good night. Hello, good evening and welcome.
Hello, good evening, Precious.
Sir, you're welcome, sir.
Yeah, good evening. Yeah, this is from Canada.
You're welcome, sir. Have a look. Go ahead.
I just let me introduce some quick words on some of the words they are using, please. They should stop using that word Igbo. It's like Igbo. It's the military, just like every other coup that took place in Nigeria. That issue is the military done the coup. I'll take away someone they don't like. Or I'll take a leader they don't like. So that won't stop. That division, those are part of the things that brought Nigeria to where we are now. You get me now? We should all stop using that word. And the truth of the matter is, everybody should come together and let the capital leader, people that can lead the country, that can reset the country to the right direction, take charge of that country.
All right, sir. Thank you.
Enough of this evil coup, this coup. This is the best thing that people do. It's the military coup, just like every other coup that took place. So let's just all stand on the right path and do what is right. Say it as it is. This kind of division, look at what they started now again.
No, don't worry yourself. Now one very, very bombastic house, your northern influencer. You talk and say now you go boy to wait. Now make them miss the you said a lot. You see that's another reason why I thought to have this conversation. Honestly speaking, it's tiring. I mean, here's someone also telling me that I am from River State. Thank you so much. I appreciate you, Mr. Madam. Thank you. All right, so responding to you, Mr. Aladdin Kelly said, if you're from River State, you should know, you should understand how your people specifically were victims to Ojukwu spreading his ideology, to Yao, to where a lot of Rivers people died. Okay, so I should start hating Ojukwu and everything concerning Igbo. If one man, Ojukwu, caused the problem, I should now go and start hating all Igbo, and that's the ideology you have. You see, I don't know the kind of problem we have in Nigeria, honestly. Yeah. I know that's how we explain a problem. If you did abroad, one white man do you something, or make a racist or slur comment against you, you go hate the entire white and go to them back to carry them for money. Because one white man do you something. Why do they hate them now? Should we hate their country? Go ahead and hate all of them now. If few people come together and do something, things that their children and your born generation are even unaware of, previous of, and you keep hating other people, and they keep being mindful of people who have even helped you. I've had a guest here who said, Dr. Deji, who said that his first international pass in international trip, like man make a possible. He's a Yoruba man. One of the people who helped me and encouraged me to start this platform, he's a Yoruba person. I don't even know him. But he just thought that I had the ability to start this and say, I will encourage you to do so. Please do so. So it's painful. And I want to tell you categorically, people who have benefited a lot in anything I do, because I'm in Lagos, I'm mostly Yorubas. But I've also suffered a lot from people who are from here. So do I go about hating everybody from Yoruba? Because a few of them give me bad.
Tired of waiting on a realtor? Need to sell your house fast? Largest home buyer.
I don't like this thing we're doing. Honestly, Nigerians, especially the younger generation, we need to get a rethink. It is so painful to hear a lot of us when they're young, to see they carry this old barbaric mindset of hating a fellow human being. And then, okay, hello, good evening, Novex. Welcome.
Good evening, Precious.
You're welcome. Please help me turn off the volume of your listening device. Thank you, you're welcome.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, please, very well. What's your name, sir? Where are you from? Please go ahead.
I'm calling from Germany.
You're welcome.
Yeah. Okay, I just listened to the guy who spoke from Davos. What is his name called?
Davos,
yeah. You see, one thing I know, I listen to Dr. Carter, who sometimes says Nigeria will be better. But I don't think Nigeria will be better because some of these people continue to build up hate between the North, South, and the East. You know, I lived in Germany for a very long time. In 1939, the Second World War started here. And when it ended in 1945, there was a little problem between the West and the East. In 1945, so they had this problem. But after the war ended, in 1991, there was a law that made Article 3, which forbade bigotry between the East and the West. So in Germany today, you don't know which from the eastern part of the German or the western part of the German. They have already united. You know?
My dear brother, not only you now, do you know that as small as Rwanda, after their civil war, the Hutu-Tutsi war, right now, they even abolished ethnicity. So that you're first of all recognized as a Rwandan, not whether you're Hutu or Tutsi. So that whole narrative, you don't die down. This one just happened 1990 something, in 1990. So we need to do something about this.
In fact, the government, even the leaders in Nigeria are not helping the situation because they use all this hate to carry out their election campaign. You know. So, but my question goes to Dr. Kaj.
He can hear you.
My question is, since large number of these Fulani terrorists are moving with motorcycles in the northern part of the country, can the president not ban the use of motorcycles in the north? This is my question.
All right, sir. Thank you so much. Dr. Pat, would you like to react to his question and then you react to the other callers?
Yes. One, it is important to understand that there are people whose life depends on the salaries they get, some from the contracts they get, some from the favors they get. And some of them now think those who would do this favor would not be happy to see them openly loving of all Nigerians. That's why you saw, as I said earlier, under the Buhari administration, Nigerians were encouraged to do voter suppression against Igbos, to hate Igbos. It's just a strategy to divide Nigerians. So you hear the gentleman talking. He doesn't, if he checks his tribe, he would say that Igbos have never done anything against the people. But he was just impressed upon that if you want to belong, better say publicly that you don't like people. To the extent that Igbos, like years always did, are made to openly, publicly deny their Igbo-ness heritage. This is how bad the Nigerian state got to. And I tell you, it was pursued by the Nigerian state. To the extent that even historical Igbo land were being now today to people who are willing to deny their Igbo-ness. This is basic. But I think the advent of democracy and the resurgence of the Igbo economic renaissance and sociological renaissance, I've seen quite a lot of young people embracing their Igbo heritage and very proud of it. That offends the British and the Fulani who will want Nigerians divided. And as you can see, even those who want you divided don't care about your own good. What have they done that Nigerians have been killed in Plateau, Benue, Taraba, Nasarawa, Niger, Southern Kaduna?
staying late again? Yep, got prospect calls to summarize. You really need to switch to Monday CRM. Your old CRM is holding you back. My CRM is not old.
These are the people that were used to sell that anti-Igbo rhetoric. Most of them have never been angered or made uncomfortable by an Igbo person. Most of them, in their communities, Igbos are the only foreign investors. That is the truth. In any very community in this country, after the indigenous people, you will see people trusting the land so much, investing their money there, helping to develop and build up those places. But, as you will know, some people do not like those who are competitive and successful from being competitive. And that's how this country has not moved on. So they were being propped up and purposed to hate each other, whereas those who were opposing them to hate themselves was also busy killing them one after the other. All them who were complaining against people, and them where how are they now with the Fulani? Fulani are killing them in their localities, killing them in their villages, taking over their land. And the same Igbos are the ones who are able not to even build local militias and local vigilantes to stop the Fulani from coming in. So I will say everybody's money is to himself. And I want to continue to remain very optimistic about Nigeria because I know Nigeria can get well. Of course, some people, out of despair, they don't want to have anything to do with Nigeria. I think Nigeria can work. All we need to do is to understand what our problem is. And that was, when the British said they were giving us independence, it's not true. It was only the South that got independence. But due to the effect of the Stockholm Syndrome, some people who are currently in bondage in the North actually lost their bondage. The reason some of them are crying currently is because of the debt that comes from ethnic cleansing activities of the Fulani militia. If not, most of them are very used to the Stockholm Syndrome. And that's why I think when Nigeria would change and reset, it will probably happen behind their backs. For me, I'm optimistic. But of course, if the country doesn't agree to work as an experiment, because I think every single attempt at country is an experiment. It's an experiment to get the people to agree to one homogeneous dream, to become one people, and to have one same dreams, to share similar aspirations. But where it doesn't work, nothing in life is possible. Just like in marriages. People have marriages, but where it doesn't work, God will say due to inconceivable differences, the marriages are free to be separated. So let's look at Nigeria. We've gotten to the point in the country where we don't need to preach to anybody. People should see for themselves. The Igbo hit, now it's misplaced. But of course, there was a reason for it. As I told you, if they were primed to hate Igbo, if the Zone were primed to hate Igbo and to do their abundant property, what is the status of the Zone today? How does the Nigerian state treat the Zone today? Very poorly, very badly. If the city were made to stop trade, they were traveling from just down to Port Harcourt centers and then kill people who were taken from inside. What is the fate of the city today? If the Hausas were made, the Bachamas were made to also fight and hate the Igbo, what is the condition of the Hausa and the Bachama today when compared to that of the Igbo? So that's what you need to ask yourself. You know, it's not somebody being good at.
So the last caller asked the question that if most of these terrorists always use the Okada motorcycle to commit the atrocities, why is it difficult for President Tinubu to ban motorcycle across?
Well, what is not difficult for Tinubu to stop the Fulani militia? The idea is, does Tinubu have the political will?
He doesn't.
So the fact that because of the American intervention, Christopher Musa is allowed to exercise free will, and within the months of his dealing, the army took Sambisa, and you have a reversal of roles. Doesn't that tell you that all those things were just planned by politicians to make the security services fail? No one is as guilty in the security services of destroying Nigeria like General Buratai. Take that from me. He was used to make the army look the other way while the ethnic cleansing raged. General Buratai is from Biu in southern Borno. How is his people? How do they fare in the middle of this insurgency and terrorism? What about General Gowen, who was there? How are his people today in Plateau State? Okay, fine. Yorubas were also asked to join Buhari, hate the Igbo. How are they today? The village you showed, the picture you showed, is that not a Yoruba village?
Yes, that's good. That's a state in Kogi State.
So that's simply to tell you, some of them are foolishly gooded to do things that do not work on the long term for their own interest. The earlier we sit down as people of one nation to do things for the good of Nigeria, the better for us. The government lacks the political will to go after the
Fulanis who use those machines to travel from one place to the other, because those people can be taken out from area bombing. Yes. Oh, that is the truth. Ask yourself what happened when the prisons were broken into in Kuje. The people were motorcycle squad. They drove from Abuja until they rode into Niger State. All that the army knew. What did the army do? Nothing. What did the police do? Nothing. What did the DSS do? Nothing. Nigeria was primed and purposed to fail. That's why most people are losing hope in the feasibility and workability of Nigeria as a nation.
All right, sir. Hello, good evening and welcome.
Yeah, good evening, Precious.
Sir?
Yeah, my name is James calling from United Kingdom.
You're welcome. Go ahead, sir.
Yeah, listen about, we're talking about VN1 Nigeria. The question we need to ask ourselves is, which other country uses that word, one this, one that? Because me, personally, if I know a little history I know about Nigeria, there's no way Nigeria is one. I will refer you back to a famous statement made by Amadi Bello, because I'm not going to use that word, sir, about the Igbos. And I want Onomeju to put an insight on that, because I don't hear people discuss that at all as part of the major problem that even caused that coup either. Because the statement that I'm talking about, or do you want me to give a hint about it?
Go ahead. What statement is that? Go ahead. I can hear you.
Yeah, the statement he made, they said even if you put the Igbos in the camp, in the labor camp, they will fight to become the head of the camp, right? And he said in that statement that if an Igbo man needs a job, he would prefer to hire a foreigner like the white man that was talking to him. So those statements, we have not been discussing them. Another statement is, I forgot the name of the man. One British man is being interviewed who helped rig that election. Why are we not discussing this? And we think the government will come and discuss a law that will ban people using tribes. I mean, there's a lot to do. Because if a man in the caliber of Amadi Bello should say that, it tells you that Nigeria is not one. Thank you and good night.
All right. Good night to you. Thank you so much. I think I had somebody else.
That's the sound of an American oil company hard at work. Want to be a part of it? Listen up.
Hello, my name is Adam Ferrari, and I'm the CEO of Phoenix Energy. I look forward to you.
I'm going to, let's see if I can quickly attend to that person so that I have you respond to all the calls at once. There were a few questions. There was a question someone asked the other time. I don't know. Well, let me take this. Hello, good evening and welcome. Please help me turn off the volume of your listening device.
Yes. Yeah, Precious. This is Mazi from Germany.
Mazi, it's been a long time.
Yes. I've been on the ways. Yeah. Honestly, Precious, Dr. Omoye has just done justice to what I wanted to say. His last comments about that devil who called from Jos. I told you I lived in Jos for many years. I know Jos very well. I know Bukuru. I know Fok. I know Bobos. I know Miango. I know Barsa. I know everywhere there. So this man coming here and you ask him a very serious question and he refuses to answer the question. Hello?
I can hear you. Go ahead.
Yeah, he refuses to answer the question. And that's one thing I have with these people. These people, we Igbo people, ask him, I think he must be listening. We are the people that developed Jos. Igbo people, remove Igbo people from Jos.
But did you hear what he said at the end? When he said that even Hausa people are confessing that even after what happened during the war, the civil war, that the Hausas are treated better when they travel to Igbo lands, southeast, and other places than they are treated in their lands by Fulanis. That other tribes don't treat them how badly the Fulanis are treating them. That's what he said. So if you're blaming him also, here when he also gave you some accolade.
Exactly. Where I wanted to tell him that, look, because you asked him a question and he didn't answer it straight, yes or no, straightforward. So what I wanted him to know that even this, the genocidal, let's say ethnic conflict that is happening in Plateau State, we Igbos in diaspora are making sure that thing stops. Even the government of Nigeria is blaming Igbo people from doing that in the Washington DC. So we Igbo, we don't have any problem with any people, any tribe in Nigeria. We want to live in peace with everybody, every Nigerian. But we know how much we spent here, supporting Pastor, what do you call him, Pastor Dajomo. We know what we're doing so that these people stop killing those people. And we want them to go back to their ancestral lands, where the Fulanis have taken their lands and they are living in ID camps. So anybody, if you don't know Igbo people, he won't know, because I'm telling you what we're doing for these people, but yet they have some resentment. And let me tell you, when I was living there, I was shocked that even when there's crisis, these people, mostly the drug people, because the drug people are the owner of shores and environs. They'll tell you, if we push you, if Hausa push you here, we come and inherit your property. That's what they were telling us. And then they did that. Some of them did that when my uncle Lazarus left to Bukuru. They occupied the land in his house. They buried people. I am telling you this. I'm not exaggerating. So these people, no matter what you do for them, they still have this resentment. They see themselves as even not them as more than more. They love these people, the Fulanis, the Hausas more than us. Let me tell you, if Muslim. When I was living in Bukuru, I was a member of Good News Church in Bukuru, and that's Good News Church is Equa Church, and it's predominantly to people that not people, but few of people who were there, they see us as strangers. Even some of them ask, why are you in Catholic Church? This is how this thing is for us. Even though we care for, we don't want anybody, we want everybody to live in peace, we want to live everybody, but they still have to respect that we are their problems. It's very unfortunate, but now we should know that Igbos don't hurt them. Igbos don't hurt anybody. We want to have Nigeria that works. Good night from here. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Good night. Let me quickly take Mr. Edwin and then Mr. Edwin, welcome. Thank you so much. Welcome.
Yeah, my sister.
When you come for front of you, I did not go back here. What happened?
Yeah.
If you have type 2, thank God this video found you. I need to tell you the natural secret to normalizing your blood sugar.
Why don't...
Precious, I don't want to talk from I want to talk from front today, not from backyard.
No problem. Welcome.
Good evening.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
I hear you too.
Yeah. Dr. Cash did it. Good evening, Dr. Cash. How are you?
He's answering you. Just go ahead.
Oh, okay. There was a time I promised, when we discussed the population of Christians and Muslims, I've read my research. I told you I was going to find out. And I got the statistics.
Nigeria has more Muslims than Christians.
Yes. It is 51-49. That is the percentage.
How did you get the statistics?
It's from the UN. It's from the United Nations. Estimates Nigerian population is there. Even in the...
Wait, no, make a response.
Yeah.
Dr. Catch, did you hear him? Did you hear what he said?
He was just his parochial lie.
He said the United Nations. He said the United Nations. Now you get his statistics
wrong.
The
United Nations will parrot what they have been constantly given. So you will see now that
because who gave the statistics to the United Nations?
No, that is the official statistic. That is what is used globally.
We just calm down. I make we solve the matter. All of us now, with the intellectuals, we're all here.
Yeah.
Imagine, how do you think the United Nations got it? Dr. Catch said that his own statistics is from schools registration, what do they call them, voters card registration, all of those registrations.
In Nigeria.
In Nigeria, and all that, yes, that is showing that you have more people claiming that Christians than Muslims. So how do you think the UN got their own statistics?
Yes.
He said, make you check bank, check school enrollment, check what's in again, sir.
Check school enrollment, check hospital records, check bank records. The bulk of the population of the North is in the Middle Belt. The Middle Belt is a Christian majority area. Now, because of the coup with not a Muslim officers, they were writing decrees. Can't you see the problem that they have had in Tinubu about Lagos and Kano? Lagos is unarguably the most populous city in Nigeria.
But we still hear that it's Kano.
The system, the soldiers will tell you Kano. It's not true. It's Lagos. It's Lagos. That's how skewed, unfortunately, arranged those soldiers were with everything that they put out. So all the things they put out is what you see the UN project case. UN doesn't have real data. What they have is what the soldiers put out. And they put that out for a long time. Don't even want census. Can't you see? The last census, when they say to do it, UN says, good, we would like to participate. But for you to do it, but you will count the number of houses. Because you cannot count.
Yes, the census that Buhari was supposed to do was supposed to be including house census. Supposed to count houses and count individuals.
He was supposed to count the houses.
Yes.
And then the international community came in to try to help with satellite imagery. Suddenly they said, no, it is true. Before you go to count, the satellite imagery will come in and look at the area you're talking. If there are 20 houses, there is the minimum amount of people you will expect on 20 houses. There is the maximum amount of people you will expect there. So this is the way these things are. Since the days of the military coup, they refuse for any honest data to be kept. When you do census, you come there, you will ask that person, what is your religion? What is your tribe? The soldiers said, no, don't ask them such questions. Just as they are living here, right, everybody living there, but that's it. It's not true. Look at the East.
Okay. Until we are able to do our own internal census, I think.
Why do you think we will be unable to have a successful census? I mean,
no, it's not going to happen under the current setting. It's not going to happen under the current setting in Nigeria.
If you believe in the statistics that you have in the UN, why do you think?
No. What is there? What is there is that the official figures, just like what Dr. Kai said, was supplied by the Nigerian authorities. It's what we have on ground, so we have to make do with what we have at the moment, and that is the only thing we can quote officially. So we cannot just be throwing figures all around the place without being able to substantiate such figures to say where did you get it from? It's from the UN. It's there.
Hey there, are you struggling to sell your house? Tired of massive commissions and fees? Let me tell you.
So until we do our own, until we're able to muster enough effort and strength, the will and the courage to have internally organized census, genuine one, no one can throw any sort of accurate figures about the population of Christians vis-a-vis the Muslims. It is 49-49. 51, 49 at the moment. So there's nothing we can do about that.
Why do you not place the Christian, the traditional worshippers that are in their numbers? So by that calculation, that means we don't have traditional worshippers.
No, everybody, what they say, that is the figures there. Look, Precious, what is there? Everything.
It's not correct.
Yeah, but that is what we have on record at the moment. Anyway, Precious, that is not even the reason why I called today. It's because Dr. Onaluji is around. That was why I tried to, because I promised I was going to get out the figures and give him the feedback. Thank God he's around today now, and I've been able to get that out. I will still go and dig deep about the non-believers to see exactly what percentage are Nigerians. Anyway, like as I always say, I promise that whenever I call you, I will always start with the reform of INEC. Reform of INEC. Look, Precious, I love this your program to peace. I love everything about what you do in this program, But let me tell you something, In as much as we are all very, very passionate Nigerians who want the best for our country, not until we reorganize, reform that recruitment process to positions of leadership at all levels, whether councillors, local government chairmen, House of Assembly, National Assembly, governors, and the presidency, we are not going to have any headway with Nigeria. So, and how do we do that? Not until the body, since we have the state electoral bodies and the national body, which is INEC, not until we have people who have conscience, people who are genuine Nigerians, patriotic Nigerians, to man these bodies. We cannot get good people into these offices. And not until good people are elected into offices, we will continue to have the G7 governors. We will continue to have the drug barons, the armed robbers. We will continue to have these people at the helm of affairs. And since these people will continue to govern Nigerians, we will continue to be in the doldrum. And if we don't do that, 2027 will be a mirage. We'll just be wasting time because nothing is going to change. If we don't have a new and effective electoral reform process, if we don't have it in black and white, on ground, laws that are implementable, enforceable in our law courts, not with these our corrupt judges, so things that will go to the judges in black and white and they will be able to manipulate them. If we don't have them, we will still have these corrupt judges. The wicked.
Mr. Edwin, let me ask you one question.
Yes.
We did black and white for Nigeria, where politicians will look for loopholes to manipulate.
Look, Precious, let me tell you.
That the politicians will not look for a way to manipulate. Let me know how you want to write that.
Precious, I know, yes. Listen now, I know those, Nigerians. Like as I always say, we are very passive, docile people. We know that, But if Nigerians are able to have laws they can fall back on, these laws are subject to manipulation by judges and lawyers and the rest because they are corrupt, because they are wicked.
So can I tell you, and I think that we've asked this question and spoken about this over again here. Do you think that the laws as it were, if these laws were in other countries, it would function still the same?
Laws, Precious, they are not enough. There are laws.
If we carry this law like this for United Kingdom, what you did, it says it would be as bad as it did.
Look, what do you think makes people become withdrawn from our electoral process? From the get-go, they keep telling you there is no difference. There is no point for me to go and vote because they will still.
It's not because of the laws. It is because of the characters in question. Come out, you will get competent character. Come contest election. Join the electoral process. See, okay. He said here yesterday. I'm sorry, and so to hear things like this, they make me feel somehow.
No, Precious, let me rant now.
If we get a good number of good and sincere Nigerians join politics in their number, then go outweigh the bad ones. But you know the problem. Let me tell you the real problem. We have a systematic corruptness. Like I put that in Nigeria. In such a situation that just whenever they take government money, they pray, make it reach their turn to take tomorrow. So that even if you enter there tomorrow, you go join the process. Have you ever asked yourself, the people that were voted?
Taxes is feeling unwelcome. Now Taxes is an open door to new TurboTax stores. Meet our experts. They do your taxes, so you can walk out with confidence. Now this is Taxes.
This election was the most diverse. Sorry, this National Assembly we have was the most diverse we've ever had in our history. You have YPP, NNPP, Labour Party, different political parties win election. What happened? And it's become the most inept. The most inept. Why? Why?
Precious, let me tell you why.
Timers, and they come. You had a lot of first timers. Why? Why? You know why? Because the system overwhelmed them. It is a system. It is a system. And I can tell you, human beings, character and competence makes a system, not a law.
Okay.
And you keep having politicians want to tweak the law in their favor, no matter how it takes them. But when you have people with sincere character and competence, they go want to do the right thing. And
Precious, let me tell you something. You know, in psychology, we are told man is a product of his environment. You understand me? The fear of the law here in the UK is because even if you commit the minutest of an offense, the possibility is that you will go to jail. In Nigeria, because of the entrenched religious and political interest for money, wealth. Because in Nigeria, we are Nigerians now, we worship wealth, we worship opulence. When people are wealthy and they flaunt around their wealth, we worship them without questioning, how did you make that money? The issue with us in Nigeria is that until we have those, you know, I was asked in your program, I said, who is a Nigerian? Who really defines himself as a Nigerian? The Hausa man who wants to express himself as a northerner, maybe the Fulani man, as a Fulani northerner, before he's a Nigerian. Now the Yoruba man wants to see himself as a Yoruba man, a Southwesterner before that. The Southeasterners, they are not even taking themselves as Nigerians. They are Biafrans. Why do you think so? It's because upon independence, the dignity we had, the sacrifices we made to bond that nation that gave birth to that country called Nigeria, the regional interests, regional developments that were just flowing with progress and everything, free education in the Southwest, the North, the Southeast, everything went seamlessly then until the military intervention or military incursion into politics and governance. Have we been able to come back, retract our footsteps, to think back to that very setup? If we have done that, nobody will be thinking about coming to governance to acquire wealth, to steal, because the setup would have been such a way that...
And then you think that it is electoral reform that will help us achieve that?
Oh, yes, because there are still people there. There are certain... Now,
if you ask for electoral reform now, the people with the power no concrete give you because of...
Precious, let me tell you something. Okay, go ahead.
Because they feel like, say, they don't give you reform for which will come out of office. Will make all of us come straight to protest. And if we protest, they don't agree. And they can't kill some people, shoot some people. That you will carry your children and come to Nigeria, but they follow protest electoral reform. Would you?
Precious.
You agree that your children will come to Nigeria to join in the fight for the electoral reform?
I beg you, let me land now.
I go there to so that they will see me well.
Yeah, let me land. Let me tell you something. You know the root cause or causes of all that is happening in Nigeria. It's just poverty and primitivity.
Well, help me hurry up because people on the line.
Yeah. I'm going to. That is, if we don't address all these issues, we're simply beating about the bush. Now, let me tell you, an average Nigerian has this quest to make money because he knows that, for instance, if a civil servant retires, he has nothing back to fall back. He has nothing to fall back on. He wants to amass as much wealth as possible. So that when he retires, he will have money to fly himself abroad for help. But what is there is that if we have
politics so juicy.
No, let me tell Precious, let me land. You know, sometimes I want to come to your program. I really want to talk my views. If we have good people at the helm of affairs, let me tell you, capital expenditure, roads, health, schools, and all those things, once those things are in place, and then you spend less money on recurrent expenditure, things will improve. And once things improve, you will see Nigerians embracing the culture of being honest in whatever we do. We are dubious because of poverty. Electoral reform is what, if we have good people there. If, for instance, you now, Precious, you are an assembly member, you don't have this quest to become a chief.
I don't want to be said. I don't want to be anything for Nigeria.
But that's what I'm telling you. There are mindset. There are people. Can you just tell me those days where we were in the university, how can an SU president come go and check out with a governor and be commending the governor? Oh, you did this, you do that. These governors there do run to us, even during military era.
I look forward to you joining us at our next investor webinar, where you can drill deeper into our 9 to 13% annual interest rate bond offerings and see how our company...
But look at what is happening now.
It is your opinion. And
so it is
that if it comes to protest for the electoral reform, you will bring your children come Nigeria and protest.
No, Nigeria is not worth dying for now. I will do that. That is why I am saying electoral reform. It's not just going to protest.
What I said, and I asked you a question, knowing that the politicians are benefiting from the system the way it is, they would not give the electoral reform. So if they refuse to give it, the next option should be to protest. Would you protest?
Precious, make I ask you, these politicians, are they not from an environment? Don't they have hometowns?
How do you push them, even if they have hometowns? How do you push them if there's no upsurge? You will push them.
That's what I'm saying now. By the time
you tell your children to join your upsurge to push them.
It is not that by the time every constituent, because Nigerians, we are very, very divided. Nobody wants to do anything there. If by the time every constituent holds their representative, you understand, to account, to say we won't be going back there. But they cannot do it because of poverty. Nigerian politicians have weaponized poverty.
They won't be going back that they've been the one voting for them before, or somehow they find their way in power. You see the problem?
That's what they find their way there because they rig elections.
No, Mr. Edwin, you're saying different things at the same time.
No. Electoral reform. If, for instance, during the Edo election, when these results were being transmitted, if there were no loopholes to postpone the continuous compilation of the election result that night, the D7 governor there will be there. It is like that. So that is where we have to start from. If we don't have good people at the helm of affairs, Nigeria will continue to. How did Tinubu find his way to the presidency?
And I did ask you a question that you feel like the only way to guarantee that is through electoral reform. And I'm asking you how you think we can achieve the electoral reform. You say people should vote the bad people out. They should not vote the people in. And I'm asking you, how do they vote them? How do they just vote them in the first place? How do you stop saying if they have the ability to vote them out, then why do we need the reform?
No, it's because of the electoral because the laws are not rigid enough to hold these people accountable.
It's not because that they will refuse to do the right thing. And there is no law because they won't do the right thing. How do we ensure they do the right thing? We vote them out. How will we vote them out for the same law? We don't do enough.
You know, the pressures, most 3/4 of Nigerians say, "Now chop clean out, 9 day, chop clean out." The poverty, by the time you go grind that nation to a halt, we go know what will happen.
Let me let Dr. Katz react. Dr. Katz,
okay, yes.
People who want to.
Yeah, Dr. Onoju, you talk about this. Make your contribution.
Let me respond to other calls first, please.
Yes. This case is very simple. It's one thing to scream reforms from outside the country. We who are inside, we know what we're doing. We're doing very well. But you see, there are also those with very dirty mindsets who will start looking at this tribe, that tribe, collect money to allow his own tribal man to stay there. They are all over the place. But when you start asking them questions, they could say something else. But when they reach into action, and then somebody appeals to their primordial senses, they will quickly say yes. The 2023 election was beautiful. The results were there. From all the military cantonments and installations, it will be won hands down. That shows you the median voting psychology of the entire country. It will be won in Lagos. No single candidate got up to 25% in Lagos and Abuja. And when that no out of occurrence, the Buhari administration stopped it. And when we say, why did they stop the result collection? They said that's a glitch. The company that owns the server, Amazon Web Services, they said there's no glitch. Because we say, shut up. That's a glitch. What do you mean there's no glitch? There's a glitch from our own side. No. The government went on to write the results. And when they wrote the results, the system that is corrupt had judges to protect that. The judiciary are the worst part of this problem we have. The judiciary knows about the law. But because you have weak judges, the good judges will take money and do something. You had one wicked there last week. That it was him who used his influence to include the judgments regarding the Osun State local government issues. So if politicians can openly boast that it's him who did that to help the APC in that Osun State, and he suffered no consequences after this public confession, then how do you wish to change this country? That's why some people, out of despair, they want to secede and go to their own country.
Are you researching dental implants?
There's a lot of dental offices that'll talk about doing their teeth in the day process.
So the electoral reforms are not the problem. Even if all the reforms are done and the judges are still corrupt, they will come here and say, yes, yes, yes. Even though the laws are there, doesn't mean they should be obeyed. If there are penalties or this or that, that's what happened. We are probably not the electoral law. The laws are fine. Electoral reforms, there's nothing to put to it. It's beautiful. It's good. The judiciary will answer the problem, not the INEC. It was the judiciary. So once the judges are weak, they will see yes and rule it as no. They will see black and rule that it's white. When you argue, you can't look at shade, depends on the area you're looking at it from. If you look at this thing from the other side, maybe you'll see a different shade due to the lightness and how judges are. Our number one problem in Nigeria is not electoral reform. It is the judiciary. It is the judiciary. You know, the judiciary that Buhari installed after his forceful removal of Chief Justice Omoye, and then Danko was put there. So you need to understand this issue. Right now, the country is in a state of capture. That's why the judiciary has lost its ability to be fair, and that's where we are. That's why you're asking that earlier question about some people approaching the courts, that the APC should be struck out from the register of parties. These things, people are afraid about such action because they know the judiciary is predictably aligned with the crooks. So our country is under a period of capture. When that capture will end, I don't know. We will just start and say because people get shot and killed during war, say we won't go to war. We will go. We go at home and doing things we go. That's why you saw us when we refused for the inclusion of us Southerners, us Christians in government. We started against Muslims. That's what happened. That was actually nothing else. We had an agreement. The political pendulum, the presidential pendulum swung to the north, was in the north for 8 years. After being there for 8 years, the very man who championed it must go to the north and they go to the north, I think we refused that it comes to the south. The same kind of human being who became a Nigerian one when Cameroon was
pesticides, and then part of those pesticides wanted to come to northern Nigeria.
All right, so we have about 3 people on hold waiting to ask you questions so that we don't keep them.
Please let them ask. Let me hold on for now.
All right, thank you. Thank you so much. Hello, good evening and welcome. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Hello? Yes, sir.
Hello, good evening.
Yes, sir.
Precious. This is Dr. Lawyer.
You're welcome.
I'm calling from the UK.
You're welcome, sir.
I'm just listening very carefully to Dr. Kachi. I just hope that God will keep him alive.
He will be alive. He will go anywhere. Amen.
Yeah, because what he's doing is second to none. Expanding this gospel of truth to those who may not be interested to hear it. Nigeria actually is under state capture. What is happening to Nigeria was what happened to Italy many years ago when the Mafians captured Italy. And for many years, the Mafians took over the Italian government. They were all over. Because the way they work is that they manipulate the system. They have the judges. They have their members in the court. They have the members in the police, in the customs, and everywhere. This is exactly what Nigeria is suffering from. And as a matter of fact, the situation of tribal differences makes it more difficult for Nigerians to survive when the state is under capture. Because why Italians have to survive their own? If anybody wants to read it, you can read about the Italian Mafians of 1990s, which was brought to an end.
Hey, did you know that SMUD is now paying Sacramento homeowners thousands of dollars upfront to put a backup battery system?
By Falcone and George Paolo Mussolini. These two judges sacrificed their life for the Italy everyone is hearing about today. So, and to save Nigeria, people must have to go down. And because the guys who are sitting over Nigerian wealth, these few people, are not trained to let go. That is the bottom line. They are not trained to let go. Because they can never use what is good to make a sample. For instance, Abia State is one of the best states as we speak today. With all that the governor is doing, not having any
I thought you wanted to ask a question. I'm waiting for you to go through your question. Because we need to hurry so that we can wrap up. We've done more than 2 hours.
Okay, I wanted to give a background. Although people spoke for more than 10 minutes and now you are rushing me.
No vex. Now time don't go now. You know to say time don't go. No vex.
Is that right? Let me ask Dr. Kachi. I personally, I am not seeing the electoral reform as, or even the judges as the major problem of Nigeria. I am seeing the 1999 constitution given to Nigeria by Abubakar and Co. as Nigerian major problem, because all that he incited there with his colleagues is just a decree. Therefore, why are Nigerians not speaking up to be able to have constitution that is their own? Because with Nigerian 1999 constitution, even if you have good judges here and there, the constitution makes it that the presidents have the power to appoint the judges, chief judge, and chief of INEC, and all the rest of them. So, can you confirm that 1999 constitution with Abubakar is the problem of Nigeria? Because every 4 years he will come to tell people to sign peace accord before election. And after peace accord, when problem comes, as a father who has peace accord, he will not speak. He will not say that what is bad is bad. Therefore, can you confirm that new constitution is the way to go to solve Nigerian problem? Thank you.
All right. So the question is, the new constitution, the way forward to solving Nigeria's problem. Dr. Kachi, but let's quickly take someone else very quickly so we can let you respond or react to all of them at a time. You see one, is take a question you want to ask, Oga Edwin?
Oh, yes. Okay. Otherwise, I will not wait. Oh. Just like what that last caller just made, that last caller sounded like somebody's voice when I know for UK. I hope that not be my law. Anyway, that's another question. The voice sounds like that one.
Hello, good evening and welcome.
Hello, good evening, my village.
Yes, you're welcome. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Innocent, just hurry up very quickly so that we can release the charge.
Actually, Dr. Kachi has done a lot, but the person who was speaking has Edwin or anyone.
Edwin.
Yeah, it was actually the person that prompted me to leave the call.
Okay.
See, one of our biggest problems is just our so-called education that we at home. When you were arguing with the guy about statistics, it's everything from the UN, and you were asking direct questions, and he was just dodging it. So anyway, you are already past that place. The question is that Dr. Kachi has already deleted it. Where did you get the statistics? But the problem is that we have to start looking beyond what is given to us to what we know. There are certain things that you don't need somebody to tell you. So I wanted to speak to the guy when he was about.
He's here. He's live.
Oh, he's still there. He's still there.
Yes, sir.
Okay, my brother, you live in the UK as well. And I've been in China for 20 years before coming to the UK. Until you begin to live based on what you know, things you got from your ancestral lineage, the knowledge that is inherent, you would never understand where your problem is coming from. You are in Nigeria. You are educated. You know your village. You know other places in Nigeria. And you are holding on to what you earn. If you sat down in New York or somewhere and wrote what they want and gave to you, and that's what you're putting to Nigerians as the only thing that you have to work with, and not what you see. I was part of the people that were supposed to do something in 1995 electoral. Is it 2005 census?
Unfairly fired, it's more than just losing your job. Wrongful termination can drain your savings, damage your professional reputation, and leave you emotionally drained. If you've been wrongfully terminated from your job, Top Law Assist can help fight for your rights. Take our free quiz now.
intentionally derail the census. I don't want to waste your time to give you statistics. What happened in that census? They intentionally made sure that census didn't do
the same census that Frank also went to meet somebody to say that census will not take place. That we guys.
I was part of that census that was supposed to be here. If you remember, that census was proposed twice. It was proposed twice, and it was in the European Union and World Bank contributed 70% of expenditures. Yet Nigeria could not. In fact, the only reason why they did that Jamhuri census was because they started demanding for the fund of that funding. So when I hear educated people speak at the back of what is given to them, I told you that when you come on late like this, I keep my phone by the side of my bed just to listen.
Sorry.
I was already sleeping when I heard that. I was like an educated person like this in UK speaking. Look, anybody that cares to know, if you want to check, it's just like when you're saying that Igbos are the smallest among the three major ethnic groups. Go to the 36 states of Nigeria. Apart from the indigenous, the next most populous people are the Easterners. So people who are second in all other regions, and if you come to their own, they are 99%. How then do you think that another tribe? I have the privilege of having a document, a shared document from the UK, 13th century document that told you the Southerners, how many Southerners were then and how many Northerners were. So if you want to do your research, do research that when you see truth, they are there. Go to bank, go to school enrollment, go to every. In fact, when GSM came, it was when they say, oh, now go and check network density in Nigeria. Go and check the network density. That's another place you get it. You don't even need anybody. If you know anything about density, go and check network density. I will tell you where the populations are. Lagos is far much larger than Kano. And they still giving you that. And these are things that people who is greater. You just keep continue to maintain it. Let me not take people's time. You've already Dr. Catch and you yourself, you're already responded to because I know when you were asking him questions and he was dodging them. You didn't want to answer them. When do you get your data? Anyway, thank you for the precious. It was just something I wanted to talk about.
Thank you for your opinion, but please let's take it easy on one another.
Precious.
Welcome. Sorry, let me just take this one call.
Okay, yeah.
Then we'll let Dr. Catch go. Hello, good evening and welcome.
Precious, good evening. I just have one question.
All right, so go ahead.
I believe Dr. Catch is the one that can answer this question.
In the here, you just go before I go.
Okay. Dr. Catch, please, from your experience and knowledge, I saw a news yesterday, day before yesterday, Nigeria is paying $9 billion for lobby to downplay the genocide going on in Nigeria. And I also saw a news today that they are trying to not to register ADC as a party. And
Did you register? It is already registered.
And we go. They are saying something about ADC.
Yes, it's the registered party. It's a group of former legislators that took the matter to court.
Yes, I'm coming, Precious. And all these killings. Then I saw, just like yesterday, just football they played yesterday. Somebody from the south missed the penalty. They made it in the news. So all these things, and Nigeria doesn't have a constitution that was agreed to everybody that this is our constitution we follow. And all this electoral reform, coupled with our task man, the explanation he had, he gave to the press conference he made, no, it doesn't make any sense to me. From all these indications, are you seeing that there's going to be uprising in Nigeria or something like a serious conflict coming if this thing is not corrected by before 2027?
If which thing exactly is not corrected?
If all these killings, everything that I'm just, all these tribal, all these killings, all this play of genocide, paying money to 9 million to people that just gave you 5 million to put people out of IDP camps and give them normal care. So are you, from your own experience?
Staying late again? Yep, got prospect calls to summarize. You really need to switch the Monday CRM. Your old
whether is this thing is it going to lead to uprising or is it going to lead to disintegration of Nigeria or war?
All right, thank you so much. Oga Edwin.
Okay, okay. Precious, you know.
Sorry, no vex. Is this Honorable Senator that called me the last time? Good evening, sir.
Yes. How are you?
Honorable Senator from California. You made me go digging about you. Welcome, sir.
Thank you.
You're welcome, sir. That is Mr. Kiyemi, right?
Dr. Kiyemi Abedi. You're welcome. Dr. Kiyemi Abedi.
Oga Edwin, no vex. Making just a quick.
Okay.
All right, go ahead, Shalik. Let's hear you.
Yeah, I have some questions for you. Some questions. So no, for both of you, for both the question here. Now, why do they try to hire lobbyists? Why? That's the first question.
But you're in the US now, very close to Washington. You should really want to answer us. Dr. Cash,
I know all the answers, but I just want Dr. Cash and you to just please.
The elder statesman, you go first answer. Dr. Cash, why they try to hire lobbyists?
Well, we're hiring lobbyists by us here in Nigeria. It's not new. I have done such issues before. I've been to Washington and New York to speak to people who was the lobbyists that was during the good luck president.
And he just wants to know the reason why it is done.
Okay, because during the regime of Muhammad Buhari, Amina J. Mohammed was a lobbyist. She's the one lobbying for them during the regime of Buhari. And not until when I personally on the line told Joe Biden that Aminat J. Mohammed was deceiving them. That was why during 2023 when Tinubu came to America, 30 minutes prior to Joe Biden meeting with Tinubu, Joe Biden cancelled that meeting. That's a great Yes, correct. Because I told Joe Biden one-on-one that Aminat J. Mohammed was the one feeding them with wrong information, which was supposed not to be. So right now, my question is, why can't Tinubu call Trump directly? That's the second question. Why can't Tinubu call Trump directly? Please answer the question.
Me, I don't know the question.
That is because it's not that why can't Tinubu has tried to speak to Trump since this crisis started. Trump doesn't want to speak to him.
Why? Please, that why, please. I know that why. Watch.
So Trump has reason in this kind of statecraft to stay away from those he doesn't want to talk to.
Because one of the facts was that could you remember really well in October 2023 when Atiku came to America here to the State University, Chicago State University, and Atiku got all the information, the position about Tinubu, and one of the deposition was that social security number was meant only for one person. But in the case of Tinubu, two individual persons used the social security number, which was a great offense. That's one of the offenses. I'm telling you, and right now, FBI has recorded it. I'm telling you, if Tinubu had that guts, and if you think that he's a man, call Trump now. At least you are leading a sovereign country called Nigeria. Call Trump if you have the guts. Right now, what I'm going to tell Trump was that right now, all private jets coming to America now, henceforth, must be thoroughly searched, and every individual in that private jet, before they can put their foot on the ground in America, their background must be thoroughly searched. I'm telling you, henceforth, that's destiny now. Because what's happening here? They told now.
This winter, thousands of homeowners in Sacramento and Stockton are switching from gas to a heat pump system. Here's why. These new all-electric cold climate heat pumps are game changers. They'll heat your home even in freezing temps, keep it cool.
Yes, okay, I can hear you now.
Can you hear us, sir?
Yes. I can hear you very well. I can hear you very well. I can hear you, Precious. Are you there, Precious? I can hear you very well.
Country is captured.
All right. Okay. I think we have them back. So sorry, sir. Since
I can hear you very well.
We lost our network. So he just told you. I hope he heard all the explanations he gave to you.
No, I didn't hear it. I didn't hear that. It was.
He said that Trump has been trying. I mean, the president has been trying to speak to Trump, but Trump would not want to talk to him.
Yes, for that reason, so many reasons. I understand it, and Tinubu must not try to call Trump again. I'm telling you. Because it's true.
You're a politician in the United States, and you're Yoruba man. Why are you excited about your fellow Yoruba brother treated that way by another president? I'd like to know.
Please, don't be saying all that. I love my Yoruba people. I love everybody. But that man, Tinubu, what he has done here in America, man, I'm telling you. if I give you all the information, classified information, you just do that. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. I just told you that. Wait. I said when Atiku came here in October 2023, he came to Chicago State University, and Atiku got all that deposition about what happened there in that Chicago State University. But because of jurisdiction, that was why they didn't follow up with that deposition that Atiku got. But meanwhile, inside of the deposition, so many things happened there. Which FBI, they have all the information.
And all the information also news you know about Amandina, which we don't hear before this.
You said?
All these things this is the way so many things happen. Are they things that are known to us or new things that we've not even heard of? Are they things that are already in the news?
The news are already in the news and some other information that now it is classified for now. Yes.
It's not reason to show this kind of some sort of this kind of attitude people would say against your own brother. Shouldn't you support him and encourage him to do better?
Support how? Do you like what is going on in Nigeria right now? Tell me. Do you like what is going on in Nigeria right now?
The president said he's doing well. He said he's done policies, taking charge of policies that nobody has had the mind to ever try before. He's doing
he may be cajoling. He may be cajoling himself that is doing well. Okay, that is one cup of tea. That's one cup of tea. Whether doing well or not, that's one cup of tea. But the majority of Nigerian populace, they are suffering. I'm telling you, they are suffering. It's true. Now, okay, ma'am, right now, question: Why Muslim? Let's talk about it. Why Muslim? Please. Why Muslim?
I not be guessed. Now Dr. Catch be guessed. Dr. Catch is Muslim tickets.
Well, it's an attempt organized by Buhari's people and their further attempt to appropriate the country for themselves. So I don't know what's in their mind. I think it's bad. But then, Tinubu, as your first question pointed, is trying now to correct it. Muslim ticket is what you put where you don't want an election. Because once you put Muslim ticket, the Christians will vote against it. And they voted against it. The APC lost. And that was why the APC now seized the result, switch off the server, and said there was a glitch. They manually now wrote a new result of their hand. And by the time they wrote it in longhand, when we complained, they say go to court. And as I said earlier, the court had the real problem. The churches were willing to start with the thieves.
It still blows my mind that more Americans don't know this exists. You see this water? I didn't buy it. I didn't pump it from a well either.
This is the problem. As I said earlier, you had one wiki was posted last week, and it was him who inflated the judgment in Ocean State. How can in a normal society somebody be saying something publicly? Just as a way to tell the APC's motion that after all, I'm doing this for you, by forum shopping. I'm making sure that you get favorable judgment for whatever. But that's wrong. That's criminality committed by Mr. Wilkie. But then, that's Nigeria. In today's Nigeria, anything goes.
Anything goes, but me and you cannot put our arms and do like this forever. Is it not in 2015, Tinubu advised Buhari not to do Muslim? That was why they brought in Oshibanjo. Then why not go to so now that's a Muslim?
Why do you think he did it, sir? I mean, you know a lot of things now. You're a politician, even in the United States. You know a lot of things. So tell us, why do you think our president did that?
Because he want to do it as a slight on Christians, even as a slight on me personally.